$4 million years ago on planet Earth, two brothers started watching Transformers media. Now they're going to make it your problem. Hi, I'm Frankie.
And I'm, it's backwards on here, and I'm Hayden. I almost said I'm Frankie.
Welcome to BroBots in Disguise, where we are still going through and discussing every episode of every major Transformers cartoon. Unless we quit before that. Welcome back to Season 2 of BroBots in Disguise, where we are still discussing Season 2 of Transformers, the original animated series released in 1985 and largely following the episode order of Season 2 on TF Wiki with a few minor adjustments for continuity.
In today's episodes, a whole new set of warriors are created in The Key to Vector Sigma, Part 1 and 2, and we witness the birth of Optimus Prime in War Dawn.
Well, it looks like we're going to learn where baby Transformers come from this episode.
Apparently a lot of different places.
Oh yeah.
Okay, at the time of this recording, these Transformers episodes are available on the Hasbro Pulse YouTube channel, as well as on DVD and several other streaming services such as Tubi and Pluto. Not sponsored, haven't been sponsored yet, but hopefully someday.
But then they'll tell us what to say.
Yes. If you're listening, then it means that you found our podcast somewhere on YouTube or somewhere on Spotify. Check us out there and catch up. Watch some episodes. Listen to us rant about these episodes. And without further ado, let's get into it.
Comment if you feel like it. I generally try to comment, even if it's like 2 months later.
We have a responsive community manager, otherwise known as... it's just us. It's mostly Frankie.
We don't even have a Discord. Alright, on to our episodes.
The Key to Vector Sigma, Part 1. Jealous of the Autobots' rule of the roads, Megatron creates the Stunticons team and takes them to Cybertron, where he steals the Key to Vector Sigma and uses the
That's the name of the episode.
That's the name of the episode! And uses the ancient supercomputer deep in the planet to give them life. Alphatron leads Optimus Prime and the Autobots in pursuit to Vector Sigma, but they are too late. The Stunticons are alive and attacking Earth.
So this is what I consider to be the beginning of Season 2.5, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, this feels like a mid-season finale sort of thing.
Yeah.
Status quo change.
Right. We get introduced to new characters. It kind of... There's a little bit of a tone shift and also kind of a quality drop-off. Yeah, no, if you haven't heard me talk about it before, I consider the first third of Season 2 up until the point where all the 1985 characters get introduced to be sort of a Season 1.5, because it focuses on a bunch of the Season 1 characters.
Yeah.
And then from, Dinobot Island up until... here is Season 2 proper, because it's got all those, classic 1985 characters, Trax and Beachcomber and Perceptor and all of them,
Yeah.
And then Astro Train,
yes.
Cosmos, and
Astro Train,
and some very quality episodes, like Desertion of the Dinobots and stuff. And then this is sort of the beginning of Season 2.5, where we take a shift to focus on the Combiner Wars.
Yeah,
all the different an arms race of new characters. Where they just pump out a whole bunch of new teams and. Then speed to a quick heat death.
Something about this kind of feels like, you'll see Combiner Wars pop up quite a few times, and it kind of originated here, but I think, I don't know sales wise how toys were doing specifically with this era, but it definitely
pumping them out.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like they're like, well, look, we can get them to start collecting them all if they all combine into one big dude.
Right.
So you have to buy all of them.
Right.
So there's a lot of combiners that show up in this last chunk of Season 2.
Right. We'll talk some more about them when we get to it, but
yeah, I do like that it is a pretty common thing to have in a storyline as a general escalation of the war itself is that
it is an arms race.
Yeah, they are WMDs.
Right. I mean, after seeing what Devastator can do for most of season 2.
Yeah. It kind of all started with the Dinobots, and it's just gone up from there.
Right. But yeah, one other thing I want to point out real quick is that Starscream isn't in this episode. Which leads me to believe that his corpse... Which leads me to believe that, leaving off with the last episode being Hoist Goes Hollywood, that his corpse is still laying around in that studio, being filmed on.
We'll work him into the film! His dead body!
Okay, another quick little aside. Get out your conspiracy board, Hayden, because the super fuel is some sort of another human Cybertron alliance thing going on here.
Yes. This is explicitly tied with the military.
Yes.
So there's not really any sort of like science division. The only thing that it really made me think of was like Ore 13 from the IDW run, where it was Shockwave infusing Energon into Earth minerals and resources to be harvested later.
Well,
so it's it's a super fuel, but it could also just be developed by a science team and then, you know, is being used by the military.
Well, it's probably aimed from that same base that they were doing the Negavator on.
Yes.
Or you know, as an alternative to the energy egg that the Insecticons ate in Plague of Insecticons.
That could be it. It's like crumbs from the energy egg, and then they started making a fossil fuel from it.
I think that maybe they're just experimenting with like the condensation process of Energon or something. But what it really reminds me of is like the early books and early Marvel comics of Transformers from the 1980s, where Transformers just used gas.
Yeah.
You know, they just used fuel.
They like
fossil fuels.
They like drank a lot of like oil and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They were way more fluid based.
They would just use like here they'll take, you know, gas or oil or whatever, and then condense it into energon cubes, right? Yeah. But in the Marvel comics, they're just like, just pump some gas in and it'll start going. I don't know.
Most of the Marvel comics approach them more as machine-like in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So it made sense that they would be more like just standard fluids and stuff. You know, it'll do in a pinch. They're a robot, sort of thing.
Right. This also reminds me of that episode in Transformers Prime where Mech is introduced, and there's a lot of driving around convoy type stuff, and they hide in a tunnel in there. Which is kind of a nice strategy to hide from jets, but then you only have like one exit, so they can get to it. Which is what Megatron does, cut them off at the other exit. But the also there's those other trucks. I really want to see them turn into green Optimus Primes.
Yes. Who knows? Maybe it's the cargo cons from Wardon.
Right. They are convoys.
But they're convoy.
Right. There was one more thing I was going to say about that. Oh, I'm surprised the Dirge or Thrust or Ramjet, probably Ramjet, didn't do the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade thing where he flies through the tunnel and clips off his wings. That movie didn't come out yet at this point, did it?
I guess not.
That was like late 80s, wasn't it?
Like 87, 88 or something like that.
Yeah.
But something about the setup to the beginning of this is that it's a good status quo mission of just like, they have the fuel, the Decepticons are after it,
right.
Autobots protect the fuel, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But that's important when you're specifically pointing out an aspect of the status quo that's about to change.
Yes.
Mainly, the Autobots being cars and the Decepticons being jets.
Yes.
And it's really kind of been like an unspoken rule up until this point that all the good guys turn into cars, all the bad guys turn into not cars.
Yeah.
But, you know, with some exceptions, most of them are like military equipment or vehicles and stuff. And there is like a real world reason for this. It's that kids are more likely to interact with cars on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
They get driven around in cars, that they own cars. You know,
right.
It makes more sense. You're more familiar with a car than you are with a fighter jet or a tank or, well, a cassette player. I don't know, but
I had a cassette player as a kid.
Yeah, there are exceptions. But there is a fiction reason as well that it also does go unsaid, is that Decepticons don't really care about human culture.
Yeah.
In any capacity. They only care about it when it suits them.
Right.
So they just pick whatever is going to serve their purposes. Like, the Seekers were jets to begin with. So they're like, we'll pick the closest analog to a jet. We don't care if it's a military. We don't care about any sort of rules around these that we have to, like, hide behind or anything.
Right.
But the Autobots care about fitting into Earth culture.
Right.
I would say, being in disguise, but they haven't been in disguise for a long time. But
it's that human Autobot connection.
Yeah, it's kind of a diplomatic thing for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're more in touch with Earth if they have Earth forms. And the most dominant Earth form, especially during the 80s with, like, the huge car production boom, is cars. So, but now this episode is starting to point out, here's the tactical disadvantages and advantages of each of those positions.
Yeah.
The Decepticons have aerial superiority.
Yep.
The Autobots have land superiority. And they actually show it through this fight, where, like, the Autobots can hide in areas the Decepticons can't.
Right.
And the Decepticons can fly. Like,
yeah.
They've always had that advantage of they are able to travel and get to places faster than Autobots can.
Yeah.
But they're specifically highlighting it in this scene, I think, decently well enough to where it does prompt Megatron to be like, how about we turn the tables on this?
Yeah.
But, yes, I do love the montage of stealing the cars.
Just Rumble going around beating up people and taking their cars. But also...
Rumble is such a goon.
Yeah, exactly. He's stealing these cars from goons, and also all of those humans would have died if they weren't all wearing helmets when they were flung out of those cars. They're all wearing helmets.
I was so curious about this because the bank robbers are wearing, like, construction equipment, and so are the truck drivers who are getting pursued by the cops.
Yeah. Hard hats.
Yeah, hard hats.
The trucker. Yeah.
Right.
And then the Formula One racer.
It's so funny because it's a drag strip, but it's run like NASCAR, but they're also, like, maneuverable, like F1 racers. What kind of vehicles are these?
Yeah. But, apparently that's an actual car, the F1 type with 6 wheels.
Oh, interesting.
That's an actual car, but
unique.
Yeah, very unique.
Yeah. I do have a conspiracy that all of the cars that we only see drag strip, Motormaster, and Dead Ends, like, quote-unquote backstory for how they got the vehicles.
We never saw the other two.
Yeah. I imagine Wild Rider was at a stunt rally or something. Or, a destruction derby.
Yeah.
And Breakdown was probably broken down on the side of the road.
That'll do.
Yeah. But with all of the people driving them being similar costume, except for the drag strip racer, are they all part of the same crime ring? Because the car won the race.
Yeah.
It could have been a fixed result. They were stealing money from the bank.
Yeah.
And
they were going to get away on the semi.
The getaway driver is dressed the same as the guy who's being pursued by the cops.
Yeah.
What is he transporting?
Right, yeah.
Were all of these vehicles just part of the same criminal ring, and they're just like, we'll take these?
I have no idea, but I do really want to know what Motormaster's past life was, why he was running from the cops.
Yes.
But yeah, it's interesting that Megatron does all the work himself. He personally creates the Stunticons.
We actually see that with, like, Kremzeek as well.
The Constructicons, they helped build all of those drone robots that they had in Make Tracks.
Yeah.
Which is interesting that he's already made car Decepticons before. They were just drones before, but this time he's like, I want to make them real people.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting,
Starscream, I want kids. Oh, wait, Starscream's not in this episode. Rumble, I want kids.
Oh my god.
Because that's who he tells that he's not putting up with the Autobots' superiority of the roads anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah,
the build up to the Stunticons. I like that you point out that it's kind of terrifying that the Decepticons could now be any car on the highway.
Yes, the Stunticons feel like a natural progression
so.
of like escalation, like we
Yeah.
talked about, where at first it's like a Megatron learning from a bunch of past failures, and coming up with the Stunticons. Is that the first one is the Dinobots, that shows that like, oh, our conflicts can be escalated.
Mm-hmm.
They can make super powerful reinforcements, but the cost of just investing in raw power comes with intelligence. And then, he already experimented with making a bunch of drone cars and stuff where he's like, well, why don't we just have like a huge mass of numbers? Like cheap, easy to make, super disposable, but we'll just overwhelm them with pure numbers.
Yeah.
And where he went wrong there is that you can't control something like that when none of them have a sentience of their own to be able to like make decisions on the fly. Right. You can't just maintain a drone army.
Yeah.
Especially when it's all just down to a single controller.
Right.
So his midway point between all of those is I need new recruits.
Yeah.
I need people but I don't want like to recruit from Cybertron.
Right.
Because like Constructicons, they're jobbers. Like they they're basically mercenaries and stuff. I can't really fully rely on them.
I need new toys.
Yeah. I basically need new minions.
Yeah.
That I can from scratch.
Y'all are getting stale.
Yeah. I need new minions who are from scratch. I can mold them however I see fit.
Yeah.
From the beginning.
Yeah.
And then also I need them to be really durable.
Mm-hmm.
I need them to have land superiority.
Yeah.
And I need them to also be able to make decisions on the fly.
Yeah.
Hence, Stunticons.
Yes.
And then I like that he has this game plan in mind, and it's not like, but how do I give them sentience? Like that. He knows from the beginning, I'm going to go to Vector Sigma and, imbue them with life and stuff. So
it's interesting also that he builds them out of Earth cars, but I imagine that, we see him taking them apart, so I imagine he's stuffing Cybertronian. They're not just made out of Earth materials, he's stuffing Cybertronian material.
Which is like, they have anti-gravity, they have constantly regenerated force fields, and they can basically fly.
I was going to say, if they
anything.
have anti-gravity, why do they drive? Why don't they just fly?
But I love
But that does explain why everybody else can fly in robot mode.
There's genuinely something terrifying about a couple of the shots where you just see them like ripping through stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's like, imagine a car, but it won't stop when it runs into something.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're zipping. Like, they're just... kind of terrifying to think about. But, yeah. At this point, though, they are still just drones.
Right.
And he keeps them at a manageable number as well. It's not like a whole swath, like a whole army of them.
Yeah.
Is that if these guys are going to have free will of some capacity, then I need to be able to control them in some way. So they got to be a small group. And, yeah. So it makes a lot of sense. Right. I like this plan.
Yeah. Speaking of plans, I have a question about the Autobots' plan. Normally, whenever they need to get to Cybertron, they just invade a Decepticon space bridge.
Yeah.
But in this one specifically, they're like, we ain't got time for that. Take Omega Supreme. I assume that means that Cybertron must still be within the solar system.
Probably.
If they're making good, if they're making the same time... taking Omega Supreme. It also, plot-wise, it also makes sense, why they show up later than they're not in time to stop Megatron from getting the key and all that stuff.
Right.
But it is just kind of funny that why didn't they just take the space bridge?
Yeah.
But also, speaking of the plan, so Optimus he very quickly guesses Megatron's plan.
Yes.
As he often does. He has some sort of supernatural sense about this thing. Yeah, you already taught... I was going to mention the Army and Matrix. I already did that. And you already did that too.
What would you say about
Optimus
the
says,
Dinobots?
there's no way here on Earth to give them cybernetic life like we have. Did he forget that the Dinobots exist, or does he not count them as cybernetic life like we?
It's, I mean, again, it plays into the ambiguity of how he considers them.
Or maybe it's more about the personality thing, because as we know, the Dinobots are dumb.
Yes.
Although that seemed to be a choice that was made. They're dumb like real Dinobots.
It was for historical accuracy.
Yeah. That was the first phase. Then Wheeljack upgraded them with the brain modules.
Yes.
Then
Swoop and Snarl.
He continuously works on them to make them better.
Yeah.
However, as my theory goes, that because he doesn't work on them anymore, that's why they get dumber in season 3, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. And then he dies too.
Right.
So.
He died. That's why he's not working on them anymore. It's because he's dead. But anyway, spoilers.
God bless.
Or
Rip a king.
did they take the Dinobots to Vector Sigma off screen? And is that why Optimus knows where they always knows where Alpha Trion is?
Potentially. They don't show up that much.
It also, like you kind of mentioned, it also furthers the idea that the Constructicons came from Cybertron, not they weren't.
Yeah, I think
they were rebuilt in the cave, not built in the cave.
Yeah, I think it's pretty firmly that they were at the very least reassembled on Earth.
Yeah.
And potentially had the brain chip thing planted into new vessels and stuff. But yeah, they were originally Cybertronian.
Speaking of Alpha Trion, he's back.
Yes.
And it's interesting that Shockwave and Megatron know where Alpha Trion is, but that kind of makes sense because Shockwave probably tracked him down the episode, The Search for
Yeah,
Alpha
they
Trion.
invaded the female Autobots base,
yes.
So they probably figured out where he was from there.
Right, because he does give
them
them a new base, so their old base is just there.
Yeah.
Probably for the taking. And also, is this a new Alpha Trion base? Because it's not green.
Yes.
Also, he has like a different voice, but he kind of breaks in and like when he first shows up, he sounds and acts totally different than in the Search for Alpha Trion.
He's literally Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Search for Alpha Trion.
But he, and then in this episode, he's Yoda, where he acts all delusional at first, and then and then once the Autobots show up, he starts to sound more normal.
Yeah.
More like he did.
I think. This is just him with the cameras off. This is him in a bathrobe in his man cave, just like tinkering away at his stuff. He's like following his hobbies and everything. Now, when he's communicating with the freedom fighters, and he's like, oh, Alita, don't use your power. And then he switches off the webcam, and then he's like, oh, okay, now where did I put that wrench? But yeah, I do like that. It gives him a little bit of nuance, and I like the humor with him, pulling down his weird device where he's like, oh, yeah, it's right here.
And then he shoots him with this dentist tool.
Basically. But, it's... You can see threads of, like, Vector Prime from Cybertron coming through in this sort of characterization. That character really was, like, Alpha Trion reincarnated.
Love me some Vector Prime.
Yes. But, one of my favorite things is that it's like this dirty man cave filled with just like tools and just like the shed basically.
Right.
And the fact that this ancient basically the Cybertronian Holy Grail equivalent is just hanging on a key rack in a wall. It looks like a telephone. And it's just like hidden behind some debris.
It's the
those piston cup. It's like shoved into the back of Doc Hudson's shed.
It really reminds me of those old cordless phones that had the wall mount.
Yes. It's so good.
Or corded phones or whatever. Speaking of Holy Grails,
the Holy Grail.
Holy Grail. Alpha Trion leads them to a hole in the ground and says, "This is the only way to Vector Sigma that I'm aware of." Number one, that
Where'd
implies
Vector
that
Sigma
there
go?
could be other.
Fell in the hole. It's hole shaped too. It's like ball shaped.
Yeah.
Was it just like rolled into there?
It was the trash chute.
It's the gutter.
When the sun's just.
It's like bowling. It's the gutter lane.
Okay, but. Do you think this is the origin of the concept of the Well of Allsparks?
Yeah, this...
Because
is this the first time that we've seen,
If this is where Transformers come from, they gotta come out this hole, right?
Yes.
This is... Excuse me. This is the birth canal of Cybertron.
Where do baby Transformers come from? Same
From
place
this hole.
that baby humans come from.
From this hole.
From the hole.
They spring up on the holes in the ground.
Okay, so Transformers being created,
Yes.
I think, number one, they all seem to have the common theme of they're created very deep in the surface of Cybertron and eventually make their way up to the planet side.
Yeah. That's a common story now.
Yeah, it's whether it's the Well of All Sparks, Vector Sigma, or any other number of things, or all of them at once.
Yeah.
It's usually I think this is the origin of deep Cybertron being the like primordial core of
Wrong. Desertion of the Dinobots precedes this and has
that's right.
Like
yeah.
the deeper they go, the older it is, and they find different layers.
Which I love that aspect.
I really like that too.
It feels very like 80s dungeon.
Well, it's also a concept. The Journey to Center of Cybertron was a concept that was in one of the earliest drafts of Transformers the movie. But it got cut and was recycled into season 2 and 3.
Interesting.
With Desertion of the Dinobots, Key to Vector Sigma, 5 Phases of Darkness, stuff like
Plasma Energy Chamber.
Plasma Energy Chamber, yeah.
Which I like that
it's a concept
they take
that gets
these,
recycled quite a bit.
Yeah, I like that they take all of these concepts and kind of, it's like which one is right, and it's like all of them.
Yeah.
Where it's like Vector Sigma is the mind.
Yeah.
The Plasma Energy Chamber is like the physical, like
the power.
Yeah. And then the Well of All Sparks is the soul. Like, so I like that recent iterations of this have just kind of like incorporated all origins of the Transformers together. But yeah, I love that the deeper you go into Cybertron, the more arcane things get.
Yes.
The more like organic the technology starts looking.
Mm-hmm.
It's like taking these like tube, like tree sort of shapes and stuff. And
what kind of tubes?
The tubes that lead to the hole. We're very mature. But really, if you do think about it, it also plays into stuff with like Unicron, where there's this kind of techno-organic, like, interior of the planet is more of like a living organism sort of thing.
Yeah.
And
love Armada Unicron.
Yeah, especially Armada Unicron.
Well, yeah, even in G1 he's more
in G1 he's like
inside.
He's like organic looking, but he has like organic analogs. He has a stomach. He has like arteries and antibodies and stuff like that. Yeah. Cybertron at this point doesn't really have that sort of like this is a living creature sort of thing. Yeah. But it has that like
because it's not Primus in Generation
Not
1.
yet, but
well, not throughout the cartoon. It's never Primus in the cartoon.
Comics
was doing it.
Yeah.
And actually in the Journey to the Center of Cybertron Transformers the movie, it was going to be Primus. But that got scrapped too.
But I like that this one interprets interior Cybertron as basically Indiana Jones style like ruin. Like a ruined city or a ruined temple where you have like ancient guardians that are unknowable and can be.
It's another dungeon crawl.
Yeah, it's a dungeon crawl, and I like that you stumble into different rooms.
Edited dungeon crawl.
Yes. Like you stumble into different rooms and you find like a bunch of dead Cybertronians that it's like what happened here? No clue. It's just ancient and unknowable and arcane, and then you have this primordial supercomputer just at the center, and I really like that sort of angle.
I do like
towards
that. I do like that.
I like that it turns into an Indiana Jones adventure.
Right.
Indiana Jones and the race to Vector Sigma.
Yeah, and also you're saying that about the drones and stuff. It does feel very TTRPG that the players just decide to reactivate all these old drones to combat the other drones.
Creative solutions.
Which I really like the Centurion drones.
The Centurion drones are cool. They're also kind of terrifying.
Yeah, but they're also dumb enough to fall down a hole, another hole.
Okay, but it's cool that they serve a thematic purpose of like these are terrifying, powerful drones.
Yeah,
but they are drones.
Right.
They don't have personality.
Yeah.
They don't have that X factor to them.
Right.
Which is why they fall to their death.
Right. Because they can be mind controlled by the key to Vector Sigma, which is very interesting.
Yes.
It ties them to being the guardians of Vector Sigma. Did you know they actually, I believe they return in the Headmasters when Optimus Prime goes back to Vector Sigma to recharge the Matrix or whatever it is he's doing.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I don't exactly remember, but it's in the first couple episodes.
I forgot about that.
Headmasters.
They were
It's been a while since I've watched it.
They were weirdly reverent of that continuity.
Yeah. No, the Japanese love Alpha Trion, Vector Sigma, all that kind of deep lore stuff.
Yeah.
And
it basically looks like a samurai.
They well, he's got the Fu Manchu mustache beard, and then they keep better track of all that continuity better than G1 does. It's interesting, really, to see that like the G1 cartoon just throws a whole bunch of stuff at the wall and sometimes keeps continuity, but whenever they come back to something, they build on it in a different way.
Right.
Because one, they can't remember what they did last time.
Basically.
Two, they do remember that they did it last time. They're just going to add a new layer so that they don't have to go back and rewatch that episode.
Yeah, it's like...
but the Japanese continuity Headmasters, specifically Headmasters, Master Force and Victory kind of do away with it a little bit, but specifically Headmasters is very like, okay, remember that one episode where that one thing happened? That.
Yeah. It's like the
like
G1
time.
Yeah, the episodes of the American episodes of G1 are continuity chunks.
Yes.
That are just one long continuous line, and they fade out of view.
Yeah.
Once it's like a couple episodes past it, then it's just sort of like, oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, like.
But then most of the Japanese continuity is like very, very like planned out. Like this is a whole arc.
Yes.
It's a lot of filler, but it's a whole planned out arc.
Right, and it is a difference in the style of storytelling.
Yeah.
Episodic versus serialized. But back to this, the corpses the Autobots reactivate are also just drones.
Yes.
But how old are they? I assume the Centurion drones have always guarded Vector Sigma. But these drones probably are as old as the shuttles, and Optimus calls those ancient.
Yeah.
And they were maintenance robots on that. I wonder if they are perhaps as old as that ancient city we see in Desertion of the Dinobots, or that ancient graveyard that the ancestors of the Autobots came from.
I'd be willing to say that because they also don't look like they would have transformations either. So prior to the time when transformations were a thing.
Read your note in the middle.
I do love the drone on drone combat.
Yes.
Where they are drones, they're not characters.
Yes.
And this is a loophole that Transformers exploits a lot.
Yeah.
Is that they are robots.
Yeah.
Which means you can get away with a lot of gore.
Yeah. Getting like heads knocked off.
Usually it's like
backs broken.
Like usually because most of the Cybertronians are characters.
Yeah.
They stray away from that.
Yeah.
They will have like limbs and stuff. The most they'll have is like, oh, his arm got ripped off or something like that. This is beheaded.
Optimus chopped into pieces and turned into an alligator.
Yeah. But they never like play it up that much. But these are drones.
Yeah.
They're not characters.
Yeah.
They're decapitating each other. They're suplexing each other into bits and pieces, just ripping each other apart. It's insane.
Yeah.
But it also shows that a lot of times Transformers can get away with some of the most gruesome combat.
Yeah.
And it also really plays into, like, thematically, they are robots. Their concept of war is way more than anything that we could think of because we take one wrong hit to the head and we're dead.
Yeah.
They take 30 wrong hits to the head and they're still fighting.
Right. Yeah.
But, yeah, I just love that that gave them the opportunity to flex that it's like, oh, we can mess these guys up.
All right, let's talk about Vector Sigma in a more respectful way now.
Yes,
it is a cool
Vector
disco
Sigma
ball.
will never be balling. Objective, Vector Sigma balling.
It is the original disco ball.
Yes.
No, I'd really like that it's design. It's very cool.
Yes, I like that it's not a person. it is a primordial supercomputer.
Yes.
It is completely impartial.
It has a weird voice, though.
Yes. It's very... I don't know how else to describe it other than just, like, very nasally, like, Shakespearean narrator or something like that, where he's just like, ah!
It's interesting that...
Why have you done this thing?
Right. But I like that Optimus and Megatron... or I find it interesting that both Optimus and Megatron know so much about it.
Yes.
From the beginning.
It does seem like...
Whereas some of the others don't know that much about it.
Yeah, I think for...
Even though supposedly they all came from it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they may have been built in different ways, but their personalities came from it.
But I see it as like... I mean, you don't remember what it was like being an infant.
That's true. That's true. Although, as we see, they're pretty well conscious right off the gate.
Yeah, that's true.
Right out the gate.
But I think why Megatron and Optimus specifically know so much about it is that one, Optimus has
they know
Alphatron.
things.
They know things. Alphatron mentors Optimus, and he's close with him, so he probably knows a lot from him.
Yeah.
But then Megatron is also just like I want to exploit everything. That's an exploitable thing.
Right. Exactly.
I'm gonna learn everything there is to know about it.
Yeah. So, Megatron calls it the mega computer that gave us all life. In other places, they say that it programs their personality. It doesn't necessarily give them life.
Yeah.
And that goes back to what we've talked about in the past about the difference between drones and real Transformers.
Yeah.
I think that this is the linchpin. The difference between robots and living robots is that they were programmed by Vector Sigma, which once again brings into question, what are the Dinobots?
Yes.
I believe that they are life forms, but I don't think that they are true Cybertronian life.
Yeah.
And once again, as we have discussed in the past, that they are in between Earth and Cybertronian life, and that's why they get out of certain legal obligations.
I think it's the case of Cybertronian life forms sprung from non-Cybertronian means.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we need a Star Trek Next Generation, The Measure of a Man trial.
on Grimlock, yeah. But also, after all these millions of years, Vector Sigma awakes, Megatron says, right? So have there been no Transformers since in millions of years? No new real Cybertronians in millions of years? Have they not had the power to activate it, or is he just assuming that because he's been gone for 4 million years?
I would say, given what Alpha Trion does next episode, that they just didn't have the power to activate Vector Sigma.
But they don't give it an offering of Energon or anything. They just put the key in and say, do.
But you also think that you also see that the key itself is capable of wielding power as well. So it itself is probably an energy source.
Oh, that's why it was on the charger in Alpha Trion's lab. It had to recharge the key.
Hold on, guys. I gotta plug in my Vector Sigma. Vector Sigma's about to die.
So it
Anybody got a charger?
Now, Vector Sigma says that it existed before Cybertron existed. So that implies that the Quintessons must have used it from the beginning to program their Transformers, right?
I imagine it is a Quintesson-made device.
Right, and I wonder if it, existing before the Quintessons, what else they used it to make.
Ah.
Like...
Sharkticons.
The Sharkticon. Did they have the Sharkticon? I just watched Five Faces of Darkness and I already forgot it. I can't remember.
There were Sharkticon
in the flashback.
There were Sharkticon-ish designs in the flashback. But yeah, nothing conclusive.
Yeah. But it's interesting also that it is actually just a computer in that it just does what it's told.
Yeah, it's a tool.
It takes no qualms with making evil Stunticons.
Yeah. Which, it's like... And it has no qualms with making heroic Autobots. Like,
somewhat heroic.
It does what it's supposed to do. Completely impartial.
All right, and we'll see the consequences of that right after the break.
Well, if it isn't the consequences of their actions.
In the Key to Vector Sigma, Part 2. Alpha Trion sacrifices himself to reactivate Vector Sigma and let Optimus create the Aerial Bots team. They return to Earth, but Omega Supreme is wounded, and Megatron learns that the key to Vector Sigma can metallically terraform Earth. The aerial bots take some convincing, but eventually help fight the Stunticons and destroy the key. Are they watching as the kitchen sinks?
Understandable why Slingshot sees as the kitchen sinks and is like, man, these humans are disgusting.
Also, Soundwave trips in this episode. That's funny.
It's sad.
Also, it's very funny that Optimus is riding Silverbolt.
Yes.
And Omega just shoots his arms out to become his thing. I like that they ride in Optimus Prime's trailer. And then, when or where did Omega get that tear that blows him up? Yeah, just poor Omega Supreme.
He's a workhorse in these 2 episodes.
Yeah. All 3
in these
of
3
them.
episodes.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, thanks. I'm glad I can finally get a break. Nope. Get up, Omega. We gotta go back to Cybertron.
Now, there's a mention of, somebody says, I hope that Shockwave didn't get to Omega Supreme while we were down in the depths of Cybertron, but we never see him fighting Omega
Probably
Supreme.
had a fight with Shockwave.
Yeah, but also Shockwave is just casually strolling around the depths of Cybertron.
Yeah.
It just happens to overhear what's going on.
It's like, ooh.
But we do see that some of the Sentinel drones from last episode are, or the Centurion drones. Sorry, Sentinel drones are something different. The Centurion drones are further up in the layers of Cybertron, so maybe they also fought Omega Supreme. I don't know. Apparently, there are deleted scenes that explain all of this and make these episodes better. But as I will state at the end of this, things got cut, and it was for or as I will reiterate at the end of our discussion of this episode, it should have been a 3-parter.
That blast.
Yeah, right. But there's also a scene where they're still underground, but they can see the stars. I thought that they had reached the surface, but then it shows that they fly out of the hole that they went in last episode. So I don't know if that is one of those interior atmospheres like we see in Desertion of the Dinobots, or if that's just like a shell piece that overhangs an open area, and they just have to fly out that one hole.
Yeah, there's a lot of trenches in Cybertron.
But then that hole wouldn't be the only way to get to Vector Sigma, right?
Yep.
Anyway. On to real discussion.
A lightning round over.
Yes, lightning round over. Alpha Trion is not only one of the few non-toy characters that returns for multiple episodes, but he is also the first permanent death of a main character on screen. Not counting his Force Ghost that exists.
He's still around, but
Sigma.
He very much is.
Yeah, his
Ben
body
Kenobi.
is dead. Yeah, he's Ben Kenobi'd in this episode.
Yeah.
I just find that very interesting.
Yeah, he's like he feels like he's from a different show. But I like him a lot.
But I applaud the ambition to kill him off.
Yes, it's actually
I really like him, but I also applaud the ambition to kill him off.
Yeah, and they get around it by saying he's merged with Vector Sigma.
Yeah,
he's not really dead, but it's like
he's
he died.
entered a new state, a new form of existence.
He mastered Oogwade. My time has come.
All right, I see you've written a small book here.
Okay.
Why don't you read us through that?
So this is the meat of these 2 episodes is the aerial bots and the Stunticons.
Yes.
The whole point of getting them to Vector Sigma is to give them personality.
Yeah.
But the reasons why tells us a lot. So when you're infusing personality into these vessels, you have to tell Vector Sigma how to fashion them.
Yes.
Or he'll, I guess, just randomly do something by the draw of the hat if no input is given.
Right.
But Megatron and Optimus both give very specific criteria for their personalities.
I love the differences between Optimus and Megatron's requests. They are so reflective of their personality. How Megatron craves violence, basically. And
Mother, I yearn violence.
all I want these guys to do is hate the Autobots, basically. And then Optimus wants them to be, respectful and heroic and, seeking the greater good.
The difference between the 2 is choice.
Yeah.
Is that, word for word, Megatron says, fill them with hate for the Autobots and everything the Autobots stand for.
Yeah.
the Stunnicon's entire existence is predicated on being antithetical to the Autobots.
It's true, because they are cars, but they're evil.
Exactly. In form and in purpose.
Right.
But
they even take the unity of the Autobots and turn it into a monster.
Yeah, it's literally...
They literally combine... You know, the Autobots have this familial unity that we've seen throughout the series. But the Stunnicons have a unity in that they're a bunch of they're a gang of hooligans, and they combine into one. They're
basically
gang.
a gang. They're a crew, and what's interesting about that is that there's no room for any sort of choice.
Right.
There's no room for any sort of willingly join the Decepticons. Like they do like, will you serve?
Yeah.
And it's basically gun to your head. Like, are you gonna serve or are you gonna die?
Right.
And they all just like, yeah, I'll serve, whatever, to varying degrees.
Right.
Some are like, yeah, I'll serve, whatever, I don't care. Others are, I live to serve, and everything like that. And then there's Wild Rider, who wants to bust something up. But what's interesting about that is that they don't care about the Decepticon ideology.
Yeah.
Period. They only fight because they have no other reference.
Yeah, they just hate the Autobots.
Yes, their entire existence is just an echo of what the Autobots stand for, but the antithesis of that. They're a negative version. They're a shadow.
Yeah.
They don't really have any room to be anything other than that.
Yeah.
And it kind of backfires against Megatron because he doesn't give them a reason to fight for him.
Yeah.
He just gives them,
he just tells
don't be the Autobots. And they're like, well, it didn't say don't be a Decepticon.
Yeah.
Or be a Decepticon.
Right.
That's
why their allegiance in later episodes is so laissez-faire.
Yeah, they're very like kind of, whatever, I don't really care. But the difference between that and Optimus, what he says, is a little bit more detailed as well, so I think that helped. Yeah. But he said, give them personalities worthy of the one who created me. Let them think for themselves, to grow in knowledge and wisdom, and let them always value freedom and life wherever they find it.
It's honestly a beautiful mantra.
It really is. But it's something that has so much weight behind it for a couple different reasons. The main one is that Alpha Trion is most likely the oldest Cybertronian alive at this point. He said he's a first generation Transformer.
Yeah, which we see in Forever's Long Time Coming.
Yeah, we don't know if he's the first, but he's one of the first Transformers ever.
Right.
And the fact that he's lived this long, and this is the only time that he has decided my life is worth laying down to give these new Transformers a chance to live. Yeah. And it's so much hope put into, we have no idea what it's the older generation sacrificing everything so that the next generation has a better chance than they did. Yeah. And it's honestly really powerful. Yeah. That there's so much gravity, there's so much weight that this is the last of a generation. Yeah. Putting all of their faith into this next generation has the potential to make great decisions that will and make an impact and make a difference. Yeah. And they may do that, they may not do that. Mm-hmm. But we have to trust that they will be equipped to know what the right thing is to do. Right. And that comes with also Optimus coming into play, is that he's
the middle generation.
Yeah, he's the middle generation, is that he's the one who has to steward them, to safeguard them, and to point them in the right direction. Right. And so it's really, really interesting where the wording is freedom. Yeah. And choice. Right. Let them think for themselves. What they think doesn't actually line up that much with the Autobots' values. Right. Is that they are freedom personified. Yeah. They are limitless potential personified. Yeah. that can kind of go any direction.
Which kind of ties in with them being airplanes, because airplanes get into the sky.
Yeah.
That's limitless potential.
Exactly.
You know?
They are literally soaring to new heights.
Yeah, yeah.
And like they're given freedom to choose, freedom to make the wrong choices or the right choices, and freedom to just exist, to be.
Yeah.
And you get that a little bit in their introductions here, is that they all seem like both good and bad, unrefined aspects of Autobot ideology that we've seen up until this point. We don't get a ton from most of the core ones, but there are two main ones that we get very distinct characterization from. And it's Silverbolt and Slingshot.
Yeah.
But I like that they're distinct, but they're not exactly... I mean, they're naive. They are not refined in any way. They're literally experiencing everything for the first time.
Yeah.
And it's kind of their presence is reposing the question that, you know, Hounds was having when he was interacting with Spike at the very beginning of the show. Why should a newcomer to the fight care about what the Autobots care about?
Yeah.
Why should we internalize what the Autobots believe?
Right.
And it has to mean something for them.
Yeah.
They can't just blindly get told, hey, we care about the humans because they're fragile and everything like that, you know, so go protect the humans and stuff. They actually have to be shown the reason why humans' life is valuable, why life is valuable in any capacity. Life wherever we find it. Value freedom and life wherever they find it.
Because when somebody comes to their own conclusion about something, that cements far more than just being told about something.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you can read philosophy, but until you live and experience philosophy, it doesn't sink in.
Exactly. They have head knowledge, but they have no heart knowledge.
Right. Yeah, I was going to make a joke about, like, it's funny that Optimus Prime, you know, tells Vector Sigma to make them good guys, right?
Yeah.
And then Vector Sigma just doesn't.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. It is much more to Optimus's request that, you know, make them their own personal people, you know. And,
I don't need you to be perfect.
You know,
I just need you to be you.
Yeah. He does say, let them value freedom and life wherever they find it. And at first, they really don't.
Yeah.
They don't value that. But I think that comes into the let them think for themselves and grow in knowledge and wisdom.
Exactly.
Is that they will value freedom and life wherever they find it.
They are limitless potential.
Right. Yeah.
But it's unrealized.
Yes. Which is, once again, is going to tie into my thing that this should have been a 3-parter.
Yes, it really should have. There's so much here to look into. It's also even, like, thematic with their origin.
Yeah.
Whereas the Stunticons were just, oh, well, cars are useful. We'll just grab a car.
Right.
And then we'll just chuck them in front of the personality machine.
Yeah.
And then bring them out.
Yeah.
And not even think about the consequences of that, and that it probably will backfire. Meanwhile, the aerial bots, they are specifically constructed from the material of ancient Cybertronian technology. They are literally the seeds of the past built from Cybertron's old generation.
Right.
Both in Alpha Trion Sacrifice and literally how they are built.
Yeah. Though it does seem like it would be a lot of work to make them Earth jets on Cybertron when they could have just had Teletrans scan them some Earth modes when they get to Earth. But I guess they were actually working on, you know, those were just ships. They were working on making them into Transformers.
Right.
But also, why didn't Blaster know that? Maybe he was on guard duty the whole time or something. But, you know,
making sure
it seems pretty funny that,
crawl out of the pit.
Yeah, he's like, well, he died so we could have some jets? That's nuts. And then he's... that killer line of, no, one Autobot gave his life so that 6 could be born.
Yeah.
Which is also foreshadowing because there's only 5 of them, but they combine into a 6.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah, anyway. Also, the core conceit is cool. The Decepticons have cars now and can frame the Autobots for things, but they don't go far enough with that.
Yeah.
Especially since the Decepticon logo is loud and proud on those cars.
It's painful how much
they should have used them in
cannot recognize Decepticon symbols.
They should have used them in Megatron's master plan.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
But no, it's also...
Also, is this the first Autobot combiner?
Yes,
I always thought that the giant in Heavy Metal War that Hound makes a hologram of was supposed to be a combiner of all the Autobots. I think he's
just a big dude.
Yeah, he's just a big dude now. But when I was a kid, I thought he was a combiner of all the Autobots.
I was gonna kind of criticize it's the cars, they're attacking the thing, or they obviously are, Autobots. Oh no, they've been framed, sort of thing. Yeah. It's been done a lot already, but it works really well in this one because it's the aerial bots' first impressions of humans.
Yeah.
They've only heard about these squishy guys, and the first thing that they do is they fire on them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not a good impression. Not a good impression all around of anything on Earth.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's all kind of bad. The Autobots are on the back foot.
Yeah.
Omega Supreme's down. They're, not doing too great.
Yeah.
And the humans that they claim are worth protecting are attacking them.
Right.
It's kind of understandable why Slingshot is so belligerent and like, well, dude, this is a load of hogwash.
Right, exactly. You know what else is a load of hogwash? A jet that is afraid of heights. It is the most hilariously transformery thing possible. I love that.
I will say,
it's just Vector Sigma. Just like, all right, I'm making this one, this one, and this one. You know what would be funny? Is a jet that's afraid of heights.
The Vector Sigma, the monkey's paw, the Vector Sigma's paw curls inward.
Right. Also, we learn later, it doesn't really come up in this episode, but Breakdown has like extreme anxiety and mental breakdowns.
He's not called Breakdown because he's a broken down car.
Yeah.
He has mental breakdowns. The poor dude.
And then Optimus's solution is like, oh, you're afraid of heights, are you? How about social anxiety and stress of being a leader instead?
I will say, there is backing behind that.
Yeah.
So, it's mostly with Silverbolt and Slingshot's characterizations.
Yeah. Also, Slingshot is so mean and selfish.
It's the worst.
Which, again, kind of goes against what Optimus's request was, but not really, because it is, like you were just saying, it is his growth to become, to begin valuing, which is why the next episode is a really good sort of part 3 to this, and a part 4 being whatever the one where they're in the desert is.
Yeah.
Aerial attack or something.
Right. But, I love Silverbolt and Slingshot's characters when they're contrasted with each other.
Yes.
Because they're aspects of similar things. They represent that choice that Optimus made to give them the free will.
Yeah.
They're two valuable aspects of Autobot ideology cranked up to 11.
Mm-hmm.
And so Silverbolt, his best quality is that he's humble.
Yeah.
He's selfless. We see him immediately go to help his aerial bots.
Yeah.
Even though he, I guess, didn't realize it at this point, but he's chronically afraid of heights. But he still went to go save one of them that was getting attacked.
Yeah, he tried.
Yeah. But his worst quality is that it leads to self-doubt and fear. He gets in his own way.
Right.
And what's interesting about that is that it stems from the fact that both Silverbolt and Slingshot, they defined themselves by what their purpose was prior to them getting personalities.
Yeah.
Is that Silverbolt defines himself by, I'm just a cargo freighter.
Yeah.
I can never soar to great heights. I can never be a great leader.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also afraid of heights. But he limits himself. And that's why Prime is like, well, the pressures of leadership, they're going to push you to confront those things that you tell yourself so that you can overcome them and be greater.
Right.
And Slingshot, on the other hand,
he's a punk.
He absolutely exudes self-confidence.
Right.
He defines himself by the fact that I was a fighter jet. I was the fastest jet ever.
Yeah.
and he's Top Gun. He's Maverick.
Yeah.
He defines himself by his own ability.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm the best, which means I'm the best. Like,
yeah.
That's what's important, is that I can do things better than others.
Yeah.
I'm good at what I do, which that's the only metric that I should measure myself by.
Yeah.
And he lacks the perspective to actually think about other people.
Mm-hmm.
And he's dangerously close to a Decepticon viewpoint of might makes right.
Yeah.
But it's less of might makes right and more of just, well, I'm better.
Yeah.
And he's the individualist.
Yeah.
He doesn't see
he's
himself...
exercising his freedom to be a
he's
jerk.
limitless freedom.
Yeah.
Whereas Silverbolt is limitless perspective.
Yeah.
Like, we see that in this episode, is that he's the first one to pick up why we care about the humans.
Yeah.
And he guides the aerial bots to that conclusion very elegantly. Like, he's able to gauge them super well when they start rebelling, and appeals to their own ego, basically, and then shows through example, like, oh, yeah, I figured out that humans have the indomitable human spirit.
Right.
And he tells it to them so elegantly, and that's what makes him a good leader, is that he's able to keep his team glued together, even if they don't know what's best for them.
Yeah.
And that's what Optimus saw in him.
Yeah.
That's why Optimus is like, you're gonna be a great leader.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like that they're thematic with each other, and I could even see them being like, kind of have a back and forth not rivalry, but like partnership, where Slingshot's independence pushes Silverbolt to be more proactive, to be more assertive.
Yeah.
Whereas Silverbolt's reserved nature, he kind of reels in Slingshot and stuff. You don't really see that a whole lot throughout the show. It's more of just like, guys, this is a bad idea.
Yeah. The idea is there. The execution is a little sparse.
Yeah. But I do love that there seems to be a lot of thought put into that dynamic.
Yeah.
The other aerial bots are there too.
Yeah.
I cannot for the life of me remember which one, the one with the white head. I can't remember his name.
Fireflight?
Potentially?
No, that's the red one.
There's Air Raid.
Air Raid, Fireflight,
Dive Bomb?
See,
they are the arms and legs.
Okay, conceptually, I like that the Autobots have a team of coordinated jets that combine into one big guy.
And are also like, they're kind of young, hip to the scene punks.
Right. However, they all blend together and they are too coordinated to the point where I can't tell them apart.
Yes.
The only reason I know who Silverbolt and Slingshot is because Slingshot's a jerk and has a weird head.
He's also got glasses.
Glasses that, like, the top of his head, his glasses, and his face are all the same color.
Yeah.
And it's just weird to me. And Silverbolt
is big.
He's the middle guy. He's the leader, and he is afraid of heights.
Yes.
He's the only nice one on the team. The other three just kind of fade in the background and all look the same. Like, I can visualize them. I can see them, and I can't. But they all just kind of mush together.
Yeah.
And I honestly have the same problem with the Stunticons.
Yes.
Because, okay, Motormaster, I like that he's kind of set up as Dark Optimus Prime.
Yeah, he's like a
but
weird
he's just kind of this trucker
Prime.
dude.
Yeah.
He's like kind of the original on Nemesis Prime, but he's just kind of this trucker dude.
He's proto-Nemesis Prime.
His design always made me think that he's got, like, a tank top on, because his arms are, like, bare or something. Also, I like that the truck becomes his feet, which actually should make him much larger than Optimus Prime.
Yes. Technically, he should be really, really big.
Dead End is funny because he's just this
Dead-End's
silly nihilist.
He's just a very cynical guy, and those are very entertaining to watch.
Face it, we're doomed.
How'd you roll?
How'd you roll? Other than that, they're all... Oh, and Wild Rider's kind of a yelly guy, and Breakdown...
You want to bust something up.
Yeah, you know. And then there's another one.
Breakdown. Well, he has...
No. There's Breakdown, Wild
Drag
Rider...
Strip.
Oh, Drag Strip. Yeah. Okay, Drag Strip is interesting. See, they all are... slightly interesting.
I would say the Stunticons are more distinct
They're more
than
distinct
the Aerobots.
physically, but character-wise, they're just as bland.
Yes, I would say...
Also, Slingshot gets a couple of spotlight episodes after this, so, you know.
Also,
the Protectobots get almost nothing until Season 3, where...
but that's the thing, their forms are pretty distinct.
Their forms are... their bodies are very distinct, but but they don't really do anything until that one episode in Season 3 where First Aid gets a really great character episode.
Yes.
And that's about it. First
Aid got a lot of spotlight.
Yeah, they're just kind of in the background, which fits them. And we'll discuss that more when they actually show up.
Yeah.
But this is why Bruticus and the Combaticons are my favorite combined.
They are so good.
Everyone is distinct. I know their names. I know their shapes. I love Bruticus.
Yes.
And they really fit the Decepticon aesthetic. Anyway, but we'll talk more about him when we get to him.
Yeah.
Back to these guys.
I do want to touch on I'll touch on this at the end, but story potential of two distinct characters, both Aerobot and Stunticon. But we'll go ahead and cover the rest of what exactly Megatron's getting up to.
So Megatron learns that the key can metallically terraform the Earth, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
And pretty terrifying. And I feel like, once again, could have been played up more into the Aerialbots story arc if this had been 3 episodes.
Yes. Because they're...
I will get into my full complaint at the end here.
They could have even, played up a theme of, he's turning Earth into Cybertron. It feels more like home this way, sort of thing. But, yeah. It's also, if you kind of break it down, he says... the key de-energizes anything it hits.
Yeah.
Turning it into metal.
Yeah.
Which means that his terraforming plan is really, really dumb, because it means that if the Earth is de-energized, then there's no energy to harvest from Earth. Is he just going scorched Earth, salt the plains?
He's gone mad with power.
Yeah. This would make more sense if it was the City of Steel context we see with, terraforming, but it's just turning it into metal. That's it.
Right. Yeah, that is a really good point. I never thought of that before, but that is a really good point.
Yeah.
Maybe he can just drain the whole planet at once that way? I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe he has enough energy from the key itself.
Maybe he just needed to be doing something threatening to up the stakes.
Maybe he just needed to to do something because he was getting bored.
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of in a desert area.
I gotta keep busy, man.
Oh, did I mention...
God forbid on Decepticon have hobbies.
I forgot to mention this in my lightning round earlier. Seattle is another real-world city.
Hey, he's getting close.
Yep. Anyway. So Silverbit destroys the key.
Yes. The whole knockdown drag out with Superion and Menasor, it should have been more significant.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah, it's just like, look, they can combine. Well, look, Megatron, they can combine too. Although and then Omega Supreme comes back.
I think this was the most. This was the most to sell toys ending, I think.
Yeah. But then Silverbolt fights through his weakness to destroy the key, which is a good story point. But also, does no one freak out and find this an existential problem that the key has been destroyed, so no more Transformers can be created with functional personalities? Or does Alpha Trion being part of Vector Sigma just pump them out now like a rabbit? or are there more keys than just those two? Because Alpha Trion does say he took a key, not the key. Which I assume just meant himself, but maybe means there are other keys, because we don't know if the Protectobots existed before that, but since they can combine, I assume that they didn't exist until after this episode. Did the movie characters exist prior to this episode, or are they Alpha Sigma? Are they the new Alpha Sigma batch? Heck, where did the Protectivots come? I already said that. Where did the Protectivots come from?
Where do any new Transformers come from?
I'm so mad at this episode.
He's breakdown. He's having a breakdown.
Having a breakdown. Yeah, okay. I'll just get into it now. I feel like the aerial bots learning their whole Unity Duty Destiny thing should have been had more scenes to it, and had them seeing why Earth is worth protecting firsthand and Autobots and humans worth helping. It's as it is, it's very weak where Silverbolt's like, look, humans keep on working, and also Omega Supreme is in pieces.
Yeah.
You should be thankful, without ever explaining why, because apparently there's actually deleted scenes where, number one, we see that Omega Supreme is wounded and is trying to fix himself, but they need to get away from Cybertron quick to catch up with Megatron before he uses the key to Vector Sigma, and that's why Omega Supreme pushes himself super hard to get back to Earth, and that's why he blows up when they get back.
Okay.
But that was deleted, and therefore we don't know that. So when Silverbolt is trying to explain to them that they owe the Autobots their lives, he leaves out the part that Omega Supreme pushed himself super hard because he cares about Earth. So because that got left out, we don't know that, and their conversion to the Autobot side is super truncated and doesn't make any sense. It would make more sense if we got to see all of that and made this a 3-parter, and then the aerial bots were like forced to help Optimus Prime before this fight Minosaur, and Optimus is like, they can combine too, and the aerial bots like try to combine but not really. They're like, I want to be the main guy, I want to be the head, because how do they know that they can combine? How do they just trust Silverbolt to be the main guy, right? I don't doubt that Megatron gave the Stunticons a full rundown on their powers and stuff, that doesn't matter, but I feel like the team building aspect needed to be stronger in that they go up against Minosaur and fail because they're not working as a team, represented by the fact that they couldn't stay combined long enough to fight. So they run away and hide out somewhere, and then they start seeing things firsthand about the beauty of Earth.
Yes.
The value of humans. Then when Silverbolt approaches them and tells the, Slingshot's still like, I think we should be in charge. And then Silverbolt takes them back and says, look, Omega Supreme suffered because he cares about these humans. You've seen the humans being good. This would have really strengthened it. And then Silverbolt would have Slingshot finally would have clicked, and then they finally start working as a team, and then they go back to, and then the key to Vector Sigma is much more scary because now they're like, we've seen how beautiful this planet is, even though we didn't want to admit it before, now we admit it now, and oh no, he's turning it into Cybertron, he's making it a dead world.
It's about to go away.
It's about to go away. We should help the Autobots and the humans by working as a team, fighting, and then Omega Supreme comes in to save them, and they it plays out as it does, and it would have really wrapped up their character arcs in this much better if this had been a 3-parter and given time to breathe.
Yes.
However, as it stands, because we have all these loose threads and this very weak conversion, it actually plays very good as the episode is. The aerial bots conversion to the Autobot side feels very weak and vapid.
I do think it really needed more time. There's so much here, but if we're talking, one of the things that always appealed to me about thinking about G1 is thinking about it if it was the same beat by beat plot, but told with the same episode by episode continuity that a show like Transformers Prime would have, and being extremely consistent from each episode of this is the story we're telling. And with this one, I see there's a really, really awesome story potential, and would also bring back a very good character who would gel perfectly with this.
Yes.
Skyfire.
Oh!
If Skyfire was still around,
Yes.
and wherever he is, who knows?
Yeah.
But if Skyfire was still around and the aerial bots show up, you have Skyfire, who is a character that, very similar circumstance to them, was brought into the war with a completely neutral perspective.
Right.
Totally unaware of anything that was going on.
Serve
Why
time on
he
the
should care.
Decepticon side.
Serve time under the Decepticons. And then willingly made the choice to go to the Autobot cause to the point of sacrificing himself. And is a jet.
Yep.
Has been around for a while.
Yeah.
Literally takes them under his wing.
And
And shows them, hey, this is why we care.
Yeah.
And
that could be in my hypothetical part 3, where they're hiding out somewhere after losing the fight after losing to Menasor the first time. They're hiding out somewhere and they run into Skyfire.
Yeah. It even
That's so good.
It even appeals to like Slingshot's character, where he's like, "Oh, you're not so tough." It's
right.
If you can't keep up, then I don't care about you.
Right. And
Skyfire's a big dude.
Yeah.
He's jetted around the world. He's done a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
He's got enough deeds to get Slingshot to listen to him.
Yeah. That's so good.
And he also has enough sensitivity to help Silverbolt understand his strengths as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good.
It writes itself.
Oh my goodness. All right, we need to do a redux or a redo or whatever you call it of these 2 episodes as a three-parter, putting Skyfire in it, and just like we were talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Another one, this might not make it in to the final cut of this episode, but another story potential came with the Stunticons themselves. Yeah. Most of the Stunticons, they're fun personalities and stuff, but they don't really have too much substance to them.
Right.
They're more of like quirky characteristics.
Yeah.
Motormaster, on the other hand, he's specifically set up as this like Optimus counter. Yeah. He's the evil clone of Optimus.
See who's king of the road.
Yeah, he's got this obsession with figuring out who's going to be the king of the road.
and
stuff. A title that Optimus doesn't even have or is interested in defending.
Right.
But you read into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
He's a guy he's got the same exact form as Optimus.
Well, alternate mode.
Similar.
Yeah. It is different.
He doesn't look like him.
Right.
But he is the same type of vehicle. He's constantly putting himself as Optimus's rival.
Yeah.
In a test of might and stuff.
Right.
And he's got the purpose of his life is to hate everything the Autobots hate.
Yeah.
Or hate everything the Autobots love. What do you do with a character who their entire existence is just centered around being the echo of somebody else? How do you have a character grapple with the fact that I have no identity of my own?
Right.
Who am I?
He could really be the Bizarro of...
Yes. And really just like grapple with him.
Superman.
He's working with a legacy that isn't his.
Yeah.
And expectations that aren't his.
Right.
What do you do with that?
Right.
And you could even have it play into like, maybe he goes away from the Decepticons for a while. Maybe he tries to do something with the Autobots, but it's just antithetical to him.
Right.
Because he's antithetical to them.
Right.
And like, I think the closest analog that we could have to a character arc like that is Dinobot 2.
Ooh.
From Beast Wars, where he's a clone, clean slate, just given the slate of you're Dinobot, you're a Predacon,
right.
You're evil. You're supposed to be evil. But then coming to terms with the fact that it's like, oh gosh, I actually have to grapple with the fact that I am a clone of someone who made far more noble decisions than I ever will. What do I do with that legacy? That isn't mine, but I am my whole purpose is to not be that, but I want to be that.
Right. I feel like there's a character arc in another Transformers show where somebody on the Decepticon side is a team leader and he really starts to look up to Optimus Prime because he takes care of his team.
Is it Dino King in Victory.
Ooh, yeah, actually, okay, that's not who I was thinking of, but yes,
There's
you're
shades
right.
of that.
yeah. Dino King does. I forgot about that. Yeah, Dino King starts to look up, or not Dino King, whichever one the leader is.
Yes.
Starts to look up. They've all got Japanese names, and I can't
Yes.
remember them. And once again, another combiner team that I only remember the leader and
the combined form.
The one dude who's like a goofball or a stand-up or something. But anyway, but yeah, he starts to look up to Starsaber as a leader.
Yes.
Near the end of the show, but yeah, that might just be what I'm thinking of. But I feel like there's something in Transformers Armada that goes.
I think it was the Unicron trilogy related. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Scourge in Transformers Cybertron.
Yes, that's it.
Yep,
that's the one.
That's the one.
Yeah, you give him some kind of arc like Scourge. He could be very similar to characters.
Very Scourge coded.
Yes, where he's not quite a Decepticon, but he's not quite an Autobot either.
Yeah.
He's just somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
And he's just a guy trying to figure out who he is.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just, a country hick driving his truck down the road. Maybe he's just a wandering nomad.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Lots of storytelling potential with these characters.
Yeah.
Which I think is the important thing about Transformers. Is that sometimes it's not really a good story, but
it gives you ideas.
It gives you the seeds of something that's really good.
Yeah. Gives you something to do with your toys.
Yeah.
Just tell a better story than the episode you just watched.
Pretty much. I think, all in all, this two-parter, it sets up so much. It changes the status quo. It does so much.
Yeah.
It doesn't give itself enough room to fully explore it, and also really settles with just being a to-sell toys ending.
Right.
So,
yeah. But, like I said, the weakness of this part 2 allows it to achieve greatness by flowing directly into our next episode, War Dawn.
Yeah.
Which we'll discuss after the break.
Aerial bots of Slingshot's age are prone to distraction, prone to weakness.
What are you saying?
Do you know where Slingshot is?
Well, of course.
Do you know where he is?
Oh my gosh, he's with Starscream!
Which leads us to War Dawn.
You want to read it or should I?
Go for it.
Megatron lures the aerial bots into... Sorry.
Aerial bots.
Hey, hang on. Megatron lures the aerial bots into a trap and uses a time machine to send them 9 million years into the past. Into Cybertron's golden age! There they witness Megatron's early treachery firsthand and try to save a dying Orion Pax with the help of Alpha Trion, who rebuilds him into Optimus Prime. Eventually, they are brought back to the present, where their allegiance to the Autobots is confirmed.
What are you talking about? You are Silverbolt!
Pull your team together! Watch Incredibles. It's an incredible movie.
Our Edna mode cannot compare to the brilliance of Brad Bird.
Watch The Incredibles, the original. It's very good.
Yes. Oh, man.
All right, so lightning round again. This is canonically set a few weeks later. So I think
which is crazy that they actually acknowledge it's a very small passage of time.
Yeah, I feel that it's very fitting that this episode comes immediately after the previous 2 episodes, not only for thematic and storytelling purposes, but literally he says they were created a few weeks ago. Time warp energy. It's over 20,000! I don't know what this note means, Hayden. Power millennia of war?
It probably got scuffed.
Oh, no. That's what Megatron says he's going to use the chronosphere for, is to steal power from the Golden Age to power a new millennia of war.
Yes.
But yeah, the chronosphere. Not only did Shockwave perfect space bridges, but also perfected time travel, apparently? Okay, then. That's fine, I guess.
Technically, if you think about this episode, it's actually just the Decepticons become Skynet.
Yeah. Well, they're not trying to kill Orion Pax. That would make more sense.
Yeah.
than stealing energy from the Let me get to that in a second.
Anyway.
Omega Supreme flies them to Cybertron again and says that his fuel is low when they arrive.
The workhorse
last
of this
episode, he
episode.
made the trip there and back again on 1 tank of fuel. Now, according to deleted scenes that we don't see, apparently he got more energy or repaired, and that's why he blew up at the end or whatever. I don't care. They deleted the scene, so it's not canon, and it makes me angry.
This just goes to show that most deleted scenes should be in the movie.
Yeah, anyway. But yeah, I assume that this confirms that Cybertron is at least as far as Titan, where 1 tank of Omega Supreme fuel gets you there, and that's it.
Cool.
So more confirmation that Cybertron is still within the solar system somewhere.
For a giant rocket that's mostly fuel canisters, he really doesn't have that much fuel.
Right. Starscream is back, and I like that he is the front man that takes advantage of the aerial bot's naivete.
The one and only.
I just feel I don't have much to say about it. I just feel like it's a fitting choice.
Treachery.
Especially since the Decepticon jets are like the aerial bots are looking up to the Decepticon jets in this episode.
So
I also have a butchered note here that says slingshot maintenance his desire to. I don't know what I was going to write there.
Slingshot maintenance his desire to
be a jerk.
Basically.
But anyway.
Yeah, with Slingshot, I had the criteria in my head of like, what does he value? He values aptitude. He values capability, ability.
Yes.
If you're good at something, then he takes notice.
Yes.
And he's obviously the best, so well, that means he's the best.
Right.
But this is the first time that he's encountered elite. And we've established that
even though the Coneheads are supposed to be the most elite seekers,
they are.
They're also the dumbest seekers.
Yes,
and they're not in the rest of the episode after they get beat at the super fuel raid.
Yeah, but it makes sense that the seekers show up, and
also nothing comes of the Decepticons having the super fuel after the Stunticons stole it for them.
Oh yeah.
This is why they needed a part 3! Anyway.
Sorry. They microbots it. They just turned it into energon cubes and got drunk.
That would explain a lot.
Yeah. But it does make sense why he would just naturally admire the Seeker Trio, because they are the elite flyers. And that's what he's good at. So he's like, they're the cool kids on the block.
Right.
And, but I do love that it, just because they learned a lesson last time doesn't mean that the lesson is hammered home yet.
Yeah, I do feel like that is kind of realistic, and that's kind of where I was talking about last episode's weaknesses as an episode.
Yes.
Create strengths for this episode.
Yeah, because
in a way, this is the part 3 that we needed.
They learned last episode, this is why we ought to care.
Yeah.
But this episode this is why we care.
Right.
It's like, last one was, this is why we should care about what the Autobots care about.
This is the actual growing and learning and...
this is us internalizing that. This is us finding our own reason to join the Autobot
living
cause.
it.
Exactly.
Experiencing it. Letting it sink
Which
in.
is funny that this episode takes the shape of basically like one of those edutainment episodes where it's like, we gotta live through history.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of dusty old books. Whoa! Now I know why the American Revolution was so rad.
Yeah. Before we get to that, and I complain more, you have a note here about Ironhide and Prime.
Well, yeah, I do like that Ironhide he's the most aggravated by the aerial bots because he is the old man of the group.
Yes.
Cup hasn't been introduced yet. Ironhide fulfills that role. He's the grizzled old war vet, the perpetual lieutenant. He stays in the fight because that's what he's good at, and he's not good at leadership. He's just like, I'm always going to be a soldier.
Yep.
And he's grizzled by war.
Yeah.
Millennia of war. Yeah. These bots have existed for weeks.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate, come on, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It's the old man talking to the young, impetuous youth. But him talking with Prime, where it's like, these they just don't get it. And and Prime's like, that's the point. They don't get it yet.
Right. And
they're too young to get it right now.
We got to see the beginning of this in the last episode also.
Yeah.
There was a few times where Ironhide got fed up with the aerial bots in Key to Vector Sigma Part 2.
Right. Yeah. Like, they shouldn't... the aerial bots shouldn't be expected to just get with the program.
Right.
At least not yet.
So, speaking of the program, Megatron's plan is to create an energy debt from the past. Like, okay.
Time inflation.
I'm going to tell you a secret. I kind of hate time travel stories.
They never work.
Like, okay, I don't hate all time travel stories. I love time travel stories when they're done good. Like The Time Machine. I love The Time Machine. H.G. Wells? Fantastic.
He solved the conundrum pretty well by not doing anything with the past.
Right. He does not go to the past. He goes to the future.
Yep.
But no, here's the thing. Once you start going to the past... Okay, also, King Arthur and... sorry.
Decepticon Raider and King
Decepticon Raider and King Arthur's Court. Love that episode because it's just zany. It doesn't matter what kind of time travel you're working with because it's just a goofy episode. They go to a time period that it's not going to... anything that they do is not going to directly affect any of them in the present.
Yes.
Right? Now... You could say that, maybe...
There's the butterfly effect.
There's the possibility that now LARP England has legends of these giant metal men.
Yeah.
But that's not uncommon. That's not something that would be out of place among...
or also they left something behind, like
medieval,
bits and pieces
medieval
of
folk
that
tales
broke
or
off,
something
and then
like
now
that,
that's fundamentally restructured how
Right.
we,
Right.
There is a butterfly effect that happens with those sort of stories, but it's negligible.
Here's the thing, is that when you start doing time travel stories that directly affect or directly involve past events that have direct bearing on the present day story, you have to start asking what kind of time travel is this and what does it create hypothetically. Is this a fixed time loop, a fatalistic sort of time travel where everything that happened in the past was bound to happen, so if whatever you've done in the present, Deterministic, thank you. Deterministic time travel. You are always meant to go back in time to cause this event that would, grandfather paradox.
Yeah.
Is to be your, you do not exist if you did not go back in time.
Yeah.
Right? Which we get threads of that here. I believe that's what time travel we're using.
Yes.
Here. However, Megatron is operating on the assumption that you go back into the past and it's not going to... Whatever you do in the past is not going to affect anything in the present, right? Which would imply that you create a divergent timeline. Right?
That'd be working with the Endgame, the Avengers Endgame style.
Where you
create
where you create a divergent timeline based on this thing changed in the past, therefore we're living in the timeline. Ocarina of Time does this in a way where the adult timeline is where everything sucks and the child timeline is where they fixed the problem before it began.
Yeah.
Right? And now you got two different timelines. Legend of Zelda. So I think Megatron's operating off of that assumption of time travel, right?
Yes.
Then, what you're talking about, there's the butterfly time travel effect where you go... the Marty McFly time travel,
you go back,
where
you kick
go
a pebble, and all of a sudden you're out of all of the family photos.
Right, exactly. And then when he comes back into the future, his life is different. His dad has more charisma, and his mom isn't gonna get a divorce or whatever. It's been a while since I watched that movie.
It's been a while.
But anyway, his family's much richer in the present, whereas because he went back and inspired them, So I feel like this episode is working on deterministic time travel, where they were always going to go back in time.
Yeah.
So, what does that mean for Megatron's plan to steal energy from the past when Cybertron had an abundance of energy? Would the Marty McFly time travel, Back to the Future time travel, he's hoping that's not the case, because if he steals it from the past, then he would just be more poor in the future.
Yeah.
Right? Or maybe that's how they got to this point of them being
That's what
poor.
I was thinking, is that, like, deterministically, if he goes back in time, starts stealing energy from the past, then most likely in the past, he was like, wow, these resources are running out real quick.
Yeah.
And...
corrective linear type of time travel. That's what I called it in my note here.
Yeah.
But maybe his plan was to collect energy specifically from that base because he knew it blew up, so it wasn't going to be there anyway, so it wouldn't matter if he stole it.
Yeah.
Because as we see later on, the building that he's built his time machine in, or Shockwave has built the time machine in, is the same building that was the warehouse that he was going to steal the energy from, right? So maybe he was going to steal it from that particular building because he knew that it was all going to blow up and that it wouldn't matter if he stole it.
Well, there's
anyway.
like stuff like that in other time travel narratives where it's like closed loops where no matter what you do in this situation, there was nobody there to say for certain what exactly happened. So no matter what you do in that zone of time, it's not going to change anything in the future.
Right.
It's just enough of a worthless chunk of events that...
Yeah, but this isn't a worthless chunk of events. Without the aerial
It's
bots
actually very
going
pivotal.
without the aerial bots going back in time, who would have saved Orion Pax?
Yeah.
And created Optimus Prime. That's why this has to be a deterministic... well, that would also be closed loop, right?
Yeah.
Because, this is a deterministic, fatalistic...
Because to Optimus, he didn't know who they were at all.
Right.
And then
after millions of years, he just kind of forgot them.
Right.
But then he does remember them. But it's even funnier that Megatron just hates the aerial bots so much that he wants to send them all the way to the beginning of time so they can just run out of energy in the void.
See, most of the time with these sort of plots, you usually have like the villain being like, now I'm going to send them back into the past where they can't bother with my plans, like that. Megatron goes the extra mile. Yeah. And is like, I'm going to send you to before time began. Yeah. So that you don't exist at all. Yeah. And you never will. Yeah. That's really terrifying.
But they still exist. They just die before anything else exists.
Yeah, they literally go all the way back to the past and then just,
Okay, so you're saying that he's trying to yeet them out of the timeline.
Yes.
Out of time completely.
Literally past the beginning of time.
I thought he was just going to send them so far back that they are the only thing that exists before anything else exists, and their existence is suddenly existing before anything else exists makes them explode into the Big Bang.
It would make sense.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Also, the aerial bots were there.
And the aerial bots were there too, I guess. That's why the fabric of the universe is comprised of, if you look down at the microscopic level, you see a pair of orange goggles, and it says, man, these guys are chumps.
This is why everybody's a jerk to each other. It's because Slingshot exists in everybody's DNA.
Slingshot was the original sin.
But anyway.
Slingshot pulls a Shockwave from IDW continuity.
I mean, in a way, they are going back to the Garden of Eden in that they're going back to see the golden age of Cybertron, right?
Garden of Eden.
You're right. But yeah.
Speaking of golden Cybertron, Cybertron is... We talked about it so many times, but it's worth repeating. The Cybertronian Golden Age is apparently not just a time of prosperity before the war started. It's not just metaphorical. It was literally golden everywhere.
See the episode where we talked about the Golden Lagoon for our theory that it's all coated in electrum.
Yes. It literally has a gold coating.
Right. But we also see a lot of green metal in this episode, and I don't know if that means that these buildings are, like we discussed last time, Autobots build stuff with orange metal, Decepticons build stuff with purple metal, Alpha Trion builds stuff with green metal. But we see a lot of green buildings in this episode, which makes me wonder if there's an Alpha Trion connection there, or maybe actually the Golden Age was copper and it all faded to green.
Well, my theory is that green is actually just...
The copper's not gold enough, though.
No. But I think my theory is that green is related to anything that's ancient or Quintesson origin related.
Ooh.
Because the Centurions are green. There's a lot of green hallways in ancient interior Cybertron. Alpha Trion's rooms and everything connected with him is green. He's ancient. Something like that. But, green is ancient.
Oh, also, another thing I want to complain about time travel. And this is getting really in the weeds, and this is major nerd nitpicking about time travel in general, is that, and recently picked up a lot of meme status, is that when you time travel, you have to specifically time travel to a point in time where the planet that you are time traveling on will still be in the same place.
Oh, spatial time travel.
Which Doctor Who gets rid of very easily by just having
the TARDIS just be able to go anywhere.
Go places anywhere in time or space.
Yeah.
Right? But apparently the chronosphere also does that. I mean, it looks like the aerial bots are flying through time and space.
Yeah, it's literally a ball that moves.
Because 9 million years ago, Cybertron was not in Earth's solar system.
No, it was not.
Or was it?
Maybe it slowly drifted.
Because in the Marvel comics, Cybertron is described as a wandering planet, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
So it's possible that at this exact moment, 9 million years ago, Cybertron wandered through the Earth's solar system at the exact same place where it currently is, presumably somewhere near Jupiter.
Oh, yeah. It's all go together.
More likely, I think it just goes through time and space.
Probably.
Which Megatron would have planned for because he was planning this for a while with Shockwave. Shockwave would have, done that because the original plan was to steal energy from Cybertron's Golden Age.
This is a weirdly well thought out plan for people that he just met like 2 weeks ago.
Well, he was planning this time heist scenario for a while, it seems like, and just recently decided to use it on the aerial bots.
Okay. They were there. The aerial bots were there too.
Also, apparently, the numbers 708, the English numbers 708 somehow mean 9 million years ago.
Interesting.
Which is, I guess, 5 million years
before... That's on
before...
the readout of the chronosphere, right?
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Which, I guess, is 5 million years before the Autobots left. If this episode shows the start of the war, then it went on for 5 million years and had a 4 million hiatus and now has about another year or so.
Yeah.
That's the third Cybertron.
It's a long time.
But yeah, speaking of the Golden Age, there's some sort of river on Cybertron, which I found very interesting because of what I discussed in our Sea Change episode. I was wondering about why is Sea Spray a boat guy?
Yeah.
Like, why does he turn into a boat? Why is he called Sea Spray? Why is he, so nautical themed?
Yeah.
Like,
but there are boats.
Yeah, apparently there are boats on Cybertron. I just forgot about this.
And rivers.
And presumably maybe even oceans.
And docks.
Scattershot from Cybertron was wrong. But once again, that's in his own timeline.
But the liquid that flows through it, my guess as to what it is,
yes,
it's blue.
Yes.
But it's not necessarily clear.
Yeah.
Antifreeze.
I love that.
Coolants.
I love that. It would make sense. Rivers of coolant keeping the living planet of Cybertron cool.
There we go.
Especially if it's Primus.
Yeah.
That would be more mechanical. In later fiction, of course, that would probably just be Energon or something.
Yeah.
which, they should just be mining that instead of getting the cubes from some sort of power plant up river. But I like the idea that it's coolant.
Oh, speaking of what's on the river, there's a dock.
Yep.
With a certain red, white, and blue color themed person. I wonder who he could be.
Ultra Magnus.
Yeah.
Actually, this was one of the original designs for Ultra Magnus.
Really?
Yes.
He would be far less iconic with this design.
He got repurposed for Orion Pax.
Huh.
And here we are: Orion Pax, Ariel, and Dion. Who do you think Dion became?
It's never been confirmed, right?
Right.
But
It's
most popular theory is
that
Ironhide.
it's Ironhide or Ultra Magnus.
Yeah. Some kind of second in command.
Right.
I don't know, man. These three just have like a weird energy. I don't know what it is, but I feel like they're in a sitcom that nobody else is in on.
Yes. Yeah.
But
my personal theory, this is dark. I think Dion just died.
Probably.
It's in his name.
Yeah. Well,
because
never...
Alpha Trion never says he's going to rebuild Dion.
Yeah.
He only says that he's going to rebuild Elita 1 after he rebuilds Orion.
They're like, please save our friend. Of course I'll save your friend. And save his girlfriend too. I mean, I can make an exception of it. Yeah, sure, I can save his girlfriend too. And their friend. Okay, let's not go crazy.
Yep.
It could be argued that he just didn't have enough parts or anything.
Or maybe he's
Sure.
no connection whatsoever. I like DevCon.
DevCon is cool.
Yeah, that's totally.
I like DevCon. I don't like Dion.
That's totally. I like Dion's design.
Yes.
I think he'd be a cool toy.
Yes. But
Hasbro!
I mean, they're here to just kind of be contrast to, like, who they are in the present day. And it's like, wow, they're so different. Yeah. But I do love their it feels very like, World War I, where people are kind of, like, glamorizing war.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, wow, it's so far away, it'll never affect us. And besides, we got guardian robots. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's exciting, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I do like that aspect where they don't really take it seriously as a threat.
It's a very interesting society where, like, you got these worker guys and then you got the big guardian robots that protect cities and stuff.
Yeah, and they're drones as well.
Which we know from the desertion of the Dinobots that there have been many wars in the past, so it makes sense that there's guardian robots. But yeah, it definitely fits, like, what you're saying. The glamorization of war, the people who live in a time of peace don't understand the sacrifice that war is and stuff,
And I like that. And here's where I think this episode's biggest strength comes in, is having the aerial bots specifically in this time period.
Yes.
Is that they don't have the experience of war. They are experiencing it currently. They have all of the head knowledge of war.
Yes.
But this is the first time that they've been thrown into a situation where people know less than they do.
Yeah.
And that contrast is what starts highlighting to them, oh, wait a minute, this was actually a bad idea to really, like, blur the lines between what really is evil and what isn't evil and stuff.
Right.
It's mainly the power aspect.
Right.
And it comes up towards the end of the episode where Optimus is reborn, and it's like, oh my gosh, Orion Pax is Optimus Prime, like that.
Wow!
And he says, my friends, I didn't.
Which honestly, think back to the first time you watched this episode. Did you know that Orion Pax was Optimus?
I think it was just like assumed knowledge. It was just like osmosis thing.
I think that I got that. Oh, we had the Transformers: The Ultimate Guide.
That's what it was.
Yep. Yeah, and that had.
We just knew that Orion Pax. I don't know if it was the episode description that I remember specifically, but I think it was just that we read supplemental material that said Optimus Prime was Orion Pax, but then he got turned into Optimus Prime.
Okay, so yeah. Yeah, that's why I didn't remember this being like a shocking revelation when we watched it.
It was kind of that it was for Elita 1.
It is very neat to see the, considering that we had seen a pink robot be sort of his girlfriend, and his sort of girlfriend in a previous episode, it was easy to assume that this pink robot that he calls his girlfriend was going to be Alita 1.
Yeah.
Which also... Girlfriend? What does that even mean here?
Is this the first instance of Cybertron on Cybertron romance?
Right.
Yeah, we have had
that's
Cybertronian with other species romance.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, before we got Cybertronian exclusive romance.
Right. And like we were talking about in the Search for Alpha Trion, our discussion about that, a lot of Cybertronian relationships are platonic.
Yes.
Or at least they seem that way, with maybe a hint of romance. But here it's just straight up... like
she's my girlfriend.
Is dating and specifically using the word girlfriend, is dating and marriage a thing? Like is what is Transformers romance about? I can completely understand choosing a having compatible bots live together for in a committed relationship. I can completely understand that. It just, I don't know, it just feels weird. The terms girlfriend boyfriend always feel weird to me in any sci-fi or fantasy setting. It's just a weird term to me when it comes to fantasy and sci-fi.
Because they started coming up with like Transformers specific terms for like relationship and marriage and stuff like that.
Yeah, but they're all just kind of code for, the same thing, and it's just kind of boring to me.
Yeah. I do like the effort though put into it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Regardless, the highlight of this episode for me has always been and always will be the cargo cons and the freight cons.
Yo! I love those guys!
It is such a cool concept.
What a great idea for expendable crewmen!
They're all little cubes, easily transported.
It's just this truck rolls up, and then all these troops jump off, they turn into cubes.
And then the trucks themselves are also...
That is the most Transformer thing.
I love that. And it also puts into context... Oh, this is how he's amassing his army.
Yeah.
Is that he's...
Do you think those guys have been robo-smashed?
Probably. Yeah. Makes sense. We don't see any of them talk, and we don't see any of them have, like, distinct personalities.
No. One of them shouts out, "Oh no, it's the Guardian robots!"
Oh, yeah.
When they get attacked by the Guardian robots.
Still.
Which also, we talked about this more in Secret of Omega Supreme, but Guardian robots seem to be drones.
Yes.
Whereas
just really big, tubby drones.
Whereas Omega Supreme is the last and best of the Guardian robots.
He is the Data of androids.
Right. Likely programmed by Vector Sigma, whereas the other Guardian robots may just be drones.
Yeah. But
we don't know. They never speak, so I don't know.
Yeah.
They do have faces, though.
I am willing to say that they've been robo-smashed.
And they do have legs. As per your other theory.
Yes, they have legs.
But the drones in Key to Vector Sigma had legs. And the Centurion drones had legs, too.
Shh.
Those are special.
The special legs.
Made by Quintessons.
One highlight of this episode that I really, really liked is the Guardian robot getting destroyed. And it's the same one that's attacking them in the present day that's been resurrected by Megatron. And having it, you see its head get blown off, and then in the present day, it crossfades to the present day, and he's fighting the Autobots and stuff. It's like, that's really cool. I love that.
Same with the crossfade with the warehouse being the same place that the Chronosphere is.
Yes.
Yeah. I do love little connections like that. These are things that make me do like time travel stories.
Yes. And it's also just really satisfying to see like it all kind of come together where it's like, oh hey, that's Alpha Trion. Yeah. He's a young Alpha Trion. He's got a little mustache.
Yeah, he's got the short mustache.
He's got that little small mustache.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh wow, this character design kind of looks like Optimus. Whoa, it's Optimus Prime. And
yeah.
And then like the little Easter egg of like, the pink female Autobot. I think I'll call her Elita 1. It's like, I know that name!
Yeah. It is very interesting to know that Alpha Trion has always been kind of helping behind the scenes. He's repairing robots, and he's and he's like plotting to create warrior robots now and stuff, and also apparently he's voiced by Spike in this episode.
That really threw me for a loop.
Even my wife was like, is that Spike?
It's Transformer Spike.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very jarring to hear that voice coming out
He
of Alpha
doesn't
Trion.
even change it. It's just Spike.
It's kind of cool though. It was like, oh wow, this is when he's like young and cool.
Yeah, young. He's got that Silver Fox energy.
He's already cool, but
like eventually in
this is his George Clooney era.
In 5 Days of Darkness we'll see young, sexy Alpha Trion, but this is his like Silver Fox phase.
Yeah, and then present day is his
Wise Sensei.
Yeah,
Ben Kenobi. But yeah. Also, I wanted to point out, Energon cubes have apparently been around for at least 9 million years. I thought they were a recent invention. I was wrong. They probably were around before this.
Yeah.
And I also think it's interesting that Cybertronian language has apparently not changed in 9 million years.
That's just the English language rule of 80s cartoons.
Well,
everybody speaks English everywhere.
Well, we know they have a universal translator, so we assume that... Well, I mean, they could have universally translated into Ancient Cybertronian.
Yeah.
Which this isn't Ancient Cybertronian. We actually do get some Ancient Cybertronian in Cosmic Crust, but...
oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, speaking of another mistake made, is Optimus.
Yes.
When he first emerges, and he says, I was wrong to admire Megatron for his power. I failed to see how he used that power. And I think that's like the thesis statement of this episode.
Yeah.
Is that Slingshot, specifically, he's the problem character in this episode. Like, he doesn't understand yet why just admiring someone for their capabilities.
Guys, they're evil. Yeah, but they're so cool.
Yeah, but but these cool kids. But yeah, he doesn't understand why you can't just measure someone by their physical capabilities or their aptitude for specific tasks and stuff like that.
Right.
Their usefulness.
This is the Transformer version of that sitcom episode where the character ditches his friends for the popular guy and then gets beat up or embarrassed by the popular people and has to come sulking back to his friends.
Guys, I'm real sorry I left you behind. I hope we can still be friends.
Dude, you left me in a ditch.
You twisted that knife and then kicked me down the ditch. But I do like that this episode it drives home that Slingshot finally gets it.
Yes.
Is that he's the one he's personally invested.
Yes.
He sees what it's like when you just observe outside perspectives. You just observe things from the outside, like, superficially. Yeah. Where it's like, Orion Pax is the foil to Slingshot in this episode, where he's just kind of blinded by, like, oh, wow, they're so cool.
I really like that they have parallel character arcs.
Yes.
That they both get to see, they learn to not just admire power, but understand how it is used. It's a nice little wrap up with the loose threads from the previous episode.
Yeah. And again, it's like, it also plays into Silverbolt, like, seeing Orion Pax's humble beginnings.
Yes.
I think kind of helps him be more comfortable with the fact that it's like, oh, I don't feel qualified.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Optimus also doesn't doesn't feel qualified. He started small.
Yeah.
And the only reason he's larger than life now is because he's had millions of years.
Right.
And I'm just getting started.
Right.
It's okay to start small. Whereas Slingshot is I acted without thinking, I judged without thinking, and people who did that in the past paid for it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to learn from that.
Yeah.
And it also galvanizes him as like I'm gung ho, probably the most gung ho against Megatron.
Yeah,
now.
when he comes back, they fight off the reprogrammed Guardian robot.
He's like, you ain't say the last of me.
Yeah. He's just like, come back again, Decepticons.
Yeah.
We're gonna Shocker! I'll chase you to the ends of the earth.
You can't outrun me.
But yeah, no, absolutely. Being able to see firsthand the nastiness of Megatron. This is really the first time that he's seen firsthand the what the Decepticons are really like, even when they are putting on a nice face.
And I like that they portray it as like he's pretty skeptical in general.
Yeah.
Throughout most of the episode, where he's just like, it's probably just making it up,
Right.
And I think you pointed out that he says
Yeah,
that like
he has a good point that in a lot of history and media, war often is portrayed from one viewpoint and not the other.
History's written by the winners.
right. Or just whatever side you're on. Like during, say World War II, there was massive amounts of propaganda on all sides against opposing countries that, these people are just monsters, you know? Like, America has some really horrible things they said about the Japanese, and the Japanese had really horrible things they said about America.
Yeah.
Then they had to walk all that back after the war was ended, you know?
Now all of a sudden, we're all friends.
Right.
Wait, what?
But, so Slingshot's taking that, maybe this is all just Autobot propaganda, but I think this time it's safe to say that Megatron is a pretty awful person.
Yeah.
In this case, it is pretty black and white.
Exactly. You don't like him.
Yeah.
But you have to appreciate that Slingshot, he gave a fair judgment.
Right.
He at least gave...
And also, once again, that might have been a lot of propaganda stuff, but both the Japanese and the Americans did a whole lot of horrible stuff to each other during the war, too. So it wasn't completely unfounded.
Even though I hate how obnoxious he is about it, I do appreciate that Slingshot is kind of enough of a cynic to actually be open to multiple viewpoints.
Right.
He's not just taking anyone's answer. He's figuring out... Like Silverbolt says, you just gotta figure things out the hard way, don't you?
Yeah.
And it's part of his...
literally, that's what this episode is.
It's his individualism streak.
Yeah.
If someone just tells him this is how it is, he's gonna doubt it because it's like, well, you're telling me that.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced that.
Right.
And now he's actually experienced it.
Yeah.
I got to live through history.
Yeah. But yeah, he went in the imagination machine.
Yeah.
Adventures in Odyssey. But no, I was also going to bring up earlier when we were talking
this did
about
feel like a Magic School Bus episode.
Yeah, but with actual consequences.
Ride the chronosphere. Bam,
because
bam.
the aerial bots actually helped save Orion Pax, which created Optimus Prime. I don't know. I really don't know if he would have been saved if they didn't go back in time.
Yeah.
That's why this feels like a very deterministic time travel.
Yeah.
But also they blew up that factory, which also they were ready to blow themselves up with the warehouse.
Yeah, that's such a good indicator of like that was the decision that brought them into life.
Right.
That was Optimus's criteria. Give them personalities worthy of the one that sacrificed himself so that they could be brought into existence.
Yeah.
Them being willing to sacrifice themselves at the end of this episode is the fulfillment of that.
Right.
Is that they are worthy of Alpha Trion. And it's also really fitting that they run into Alpha Trion and they meet him.
Yeah.
But they never did in life.
Yeah, that's true.
This is the first time they've gotten to meet their creator.
because he was already dead by the time that, and apparently they never questioned, what's that dead body doing?
Yeah.
Or when he talks to Optimus.
He's like, shh, he's sleeping.
Yeah. When he talks to Optimus from inside Vector Sigma. But yeah, you're right. This is very neat that they are basically meeting their grandfather without knowing it,
There's a lot of good potential here, where it's like, I never got to meet you, I've heard so much about you, and this is who you actually are. It's amazing, and everything like that. There's a lot of room in this one to flesh things out, but
So I really feel that this is a very good part 3 to the Key to Vector Sigma.
Yeah.
But I still feel that like this episode, it has a lot of weird cuts and a lot of errors and just odd things about it that like detract from the story that they're telling.
Yeah.
In that, you know, we got so much out of it, but there's like a lot of
But we're digging
detractors.
deep.
There's a lot of detractors in the way that it's actually presented.
Yeah.
The concept is solid.
Yes,
the
very
execution
solid.
is a little shoddy when you're actually watching the episode. When you're talking about the episode, it's great.
Yeah.
When you're watching the episode, it's a little rough. But anyway,
But all in all,
anything else that you want to say?
rife with character richness
Yes.
and story potential.
Yeah.
Kind of all over the place execution, but still good.
Right.
Honestly, these were really, really, really good.
Yeah. These are very good stories. Strong. For being kind of the this for being kind of the stepchild I considered season 2.5 to be.
It's a bit of an odd duck.
This is a very strong start.
Yes.
Very strong start.
I would love to see this stuff.
And I'm very glad that Slingshot gets one more spotlight episode.
Yes, before he fades into obscurity.
Right, exactly. And with that, I guess we'll fade into a break.
Yeah.
And we're back with our segments. First segment, best quotes and weird robot lingo. List some noteworthy one-liners, dialogue, or weird robot version of idioms. All right. Surprisingly, these episodes had a lot of things that apparently just live rent-free in my head.
I did not realize how much I quote this, like, really often.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And frankly, I don't think you've got the guts.
Optimus calling Megatron's bluff. Key to Vector Sigma Part 1.
And Mueller takes it. What in the world?
You mean Rumble takes it? I don't know.
That's a very quotable one. I don't know what
that
it
one
is.
lives rent-free in my head.
Yes.
I quote that a lot for some reason.
What a bunch of junk.
Hoist quoting Star Wars.
Yeah. Who said this one?
I don't remember. One of the Autobots.
Yeah. This can't be the way the Decepticons took.
It definitely is, because who else would send them to kill us?
Ah, that's right. I was wondering what
Alphatron does the second part. I don't remember which Autobot does the first part.
I'm Wild Rider, and I want to bust him up.
We don't
Wild
know.
Rider.
We don't know what he actually said.
That's the biggest context we get to his personality.
That is all there is to his personality.
That is who he is.
Apparently, Vector Sigma was tired.
He wants to bust him up.
All right. Stunnicons, this is your world. Tear it apart.
Pretty cool,
Megatron,
ominous line.
Ominous line to end the episode.
I'm such a sucker for any time in a show or a movie. It's like the impending doom of like, oh no, this character got to this place. And then it's just like the shot showing like, you know, oh, they're going to be loose and everything's going to go to chaos.
Yeah.
Now that they're loose, they're out, you know, sort of thing.
Ending. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm always a sucker for that. And that scene felt like that.
Yeah.
So.
Key to Vector Sigma Part 2.
One Autobot gave his life so that 6 could be born.
Yeah.
Optimus foreshadowing Superior.
Yeah. Good grief. That's what I think of every time that I say good grief is Optimus
I either think of Charlie Brown or Optimus saying good
Optimus
grief.
Prime.
Good grief.
Alright, and the all-time classic.
Talk is cheap.
Superion with his weird nasally voice.
That disappears.
Yeah. War Dawn. Yeah, in War Dawn, his voice is like this.
Also, an honorable mention for Key to Vector Sigma Part 2 is oh wait, no. Yeah, Part 2. Where is it? Omega!
Oh, yeah.
Quote that one a lot.
War Dawn. We got to mention of BattleBot buckets.
This one shows up multiple times in the episode. Because it's the passengers falling out of Starscream,
Yep.
They say that twice.
Yeah,
maybe 3 times.
The passengers do the same scream twice, and then the aerial bots do the same disinterested when they get
dull surprise.
time traveled. So the 3 times the same is used. So silly.
Dump the chumps!
Stupid humans. They only happen to be half of the Earth's leaders. From what I've heard, they wouldn't be missed.
Only half of the Earth's leaders.
Something like that. I don't know.
Is he counting Atlantis?
Aerial bots.
Subatlantica.
Some of the aerial bots. I don't know which ones.
Yeah.
I don't know which ones.
But this is a distinct aerial bot. They're also evil, you guys.
Silverbolt is great.
I love him. Starscream. Okay, buddies, let's talk.
Yeah.
Being totally not a bad influence.
You'll see, the Decepticons are a swell bunch, and we have fun.
Starscream.
This one very much felt like schoolyard shenanigans.
I love that line. It's
so good. Huh?
there's this weird sequence of the aerial bots just talking about time travel, and then one of them, the one with the like big wide black head piece.
I think that's Air Raid. Is he the one with the
Air
orange
Raid?
face?
No, that's. Hang on, I can't take this anymore. I'm getting the. I'm going over here. I'm getting the thing.
For those of
above.
you unaware,
No, that's not gonna help. I'm getting the ultimate guide.
he's consulting the tome, the great tome of factual information.
I'm actually going to look in the Ultimate Guide because if I look in, Transformers Universe, that would require me knowing their names, and that's the problem. I don't remember their names. This is like the only one that I'm having trouble with. Usually I'm okay, you know? Here he is. Okay, Slingshot. Skydive! That's the one I couldn't remember. Skydive. Yeah, I think it's Skydive. He just goes, huh?
Huh?
He's so confused. And I'm like, yep. Because they're discussing.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. I didn't realize Skydive was an aerial bot.
Yeah. Okay. Fireflight is mostly white, but he turns into.
I'm sorry. Fireflight.
That's what it says in this in the guidebook here, and he turns into the red jet.
No, I remember that he is named Fireflight, but oh gosh. Anyway.
Silverbolt, of course, is the main guy.
Oh yeah.
He turns into the Snoop Droop jet.
The Snoop Droop. The Droop Snoop.
The Droop Snoop.
The
jet.
Snoop Droop.
Air Raid turns into the black jet. He's the F-15. Yeah, Skydive is the one who's very confused by time travel. That's the only thing I know about him.
Okay.
Oh, also later in another episode we get a little bit of character that he does some engineering or something.
Oh, cool.
But yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, personality.
Yeah. So yeah.
Don't scare me with that.
So yeah, no, the other aerial bots are discussing like, Megatron's here. Should we hide? No, he doesn't know who we are because we haven't been born yet. And he goes, huh?
Huh?
I just love that bit.
Skydive is me.
Yeah. I think you're a little more memorable than Skydive.
Let me put it this way. I am Skydive's general sense of confusion.
Okay.
Huh?
Go on.
Hello there. I'm Megatron. What's your name? Megatron sounded like a creep. You can totally trust me.
What do you store here? As he walks past giant stacks of Energon cubes.
I love Megatron just being like, so, what you guys store in here? Just kind of curious.
Energy or raw materials? Oh, we mostly store energy. That's just what I wanted to hear. Kill them all. Oh, and then also, a warrior doesn't need a head, just a good, strong body.
I wanted to put the whole quote in there where Shockwave's line, where he's like, I can repair him, but the lack of a head will make it difficult.
But also,
it sounds like a factual statement, but it's also just really unintentionally funny. Where it's but a lack of a head is going to be a problem.
Yeah, but Megatron is going back on what he said last episode. I guess he wanted the Stunticons to be more than warriors because he actually gave them whole personalities and heads. You know.
Yeah.
So, you know.
It's also seemed like a ramshackle solution.
Yeah. They're just kind of scrounging at this bit.
Yeah.
I do like that, cutting back to the present and, you know, the little schemes and fights going on.
Bickering. Squabbles. Okay.
All right, next segment. Favorite characters in this batch of episodes. Who and why?
I'd say Silverbolt.
Skydive!
My favorite. Fireflight. My favorite character. But honestly, in my heart, I just want to bust him up. So, Wild Red. No, it's definitely Silverbolt, because, one, I really relate to the just, like, trying to be... He's very empathetic, and he just wants everyone to kind of get along and stuff. And, yeah, I really relate to what he goes through these couple of episodes, and... yeah, it's also just really funny that he's afraid of heights.
Yeah, I'm tempted to say that, but I'm gonna pick Alpha Trion because
yes, that's a
number
good
one, I just think he's cool.
Yes.
Number two, I think that it's very important. You know, it's very interesting that you know he's just okay with it being his time, and he's like, yeah, I've lived a long time. Optimus, you are my creation. I am, you know, I've given the present to you, and now I'm giving the future to the new younger Autobots, the aerial bots. And he's just, you know, completely okay with the progression of time and the passing of an era.
Yeah. He's one of the good ones.
Next segment. Magic sliding hand tech. Any notable gadgets Transformers pull out of their various body parts?
The key is...
The key to Vector Sigma is a gadget. It is also on a charger, like a cell phone, in the thing. We already discussed that. Soundwave has a code-breaking finger.
Oh, yeah.
There's some kind of anti-gravity thing that lets the Stunticons do stunts, and also, presumably, is how all the Decepticons can fly in robot mode. We have the first instance of seeing inside...
Which I'm apparently incorrect
No, you are
about.
wrong. This is not the first instance of the inside of the space bridge. We saw in the desertion of the Dinobots, and both here and there they reuse the assets from the time warps in Dinobot Island.
Ah, okay.
The Centurion droids. The
Cool design.
Yeah, cool design. I guess also the maintenance droids and the Guardian robots,
Yeah.
for that matter.
300 mile... So at one point they say that the Stunticons are approaching at 300 miles an hour.
Yep.
Which is insane.
Yes.
For
especially
context, Mach 1 is 730 miles an hour. They're halfway there. I think they could probably get there if they wanted to.
Alpha Trion has finger keys. Shockwave has a wrist comm. Also, he shoots a little laser out of his eyeball to reprogram and repair the Guardian robot.
Oh, yeah.
Brain unit is mentioned. Blaster has a chest computer and leg radios.
Leg radios are so funny.
Megatron has a microscope.
Oh, yeah.
And Orion Pax has glowing spirit ears.
Yes.
When Alpha Trion
Yes, that's right.
I can sense a strong spirit in him.
His
ears are glowing.
I can tell by looking at his earlobes that he has a strong spirit within.
Next segment. Favorite errors. Any noteworthy animation, sound design, or lore mistakes.
Holy moly.
Key to Vector Sigma Part 1. Starting out strong. Not a whole lot of stuff, but we get a different angle. Not really an error, but we get a different angle of Cybertron for once.
Ah.
In this economy? It looks totally different. Next episode, we do see it from its regular stock footage angle. Alright, continuity. We discussed deleted scenes like, what blast? Optimus says, that blast nearly killed us, or something. What blast?
What blast?
Yeah.
And they reference it like twice.
Yeah. Maybe that's the blast that killed or injured Omega Supreme, but we'll never know because it was in a deleted scene.
The blast heard round the world.
Except it wasn't. The The
blast reference
corpses,
around the world.
the corpses in the hangar change between scenes.
Yes.
Apparently, one of them or a couple of them also are in Desertion of the Dinobots.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a weird visualization. I discussed this. The space bridge. There's also a weird visualization of them going up the space bridge, just shooting out of the hole at the top of Shockwave's tower. But they also reused the Dinobot Island time warps for the space bridge again. Vector Signal Part 2. Go ahead.
Seattle, Tacoma. What exactly?
What state is Tacoma?
So let's see. Hold on.
Now I think I read somewhere that that's actually like Seattle Tacoma is actually a airport. But that map is also weird. That he looks at when Teletrain 1 says that.
The city in Washington State is Tacoma, Washington.
Oh, so it's the Seattle Tacoma area. I thought they were saying Seattle inside Tacoma.
Okay, yeah, they're literally right next to each other.
Okay, that makes more sense.
It's a 30-minute drive from Tacoma to Seattle.
There is an airport, the Seattle Tacoma Tacoma International Airport. The key to Vector Sigma is in the keyless Vector Sigma for some of the close-up shots. The key to Vector Sigma is in the keyless Vector Sigma.
Oh, yeah.
So after Megatron has taken the key to Earth, there's a couple of close-up shots of Vector Sigma where the key is still in Vector Sigma.
Yeah.
Come on, guys! Also, there's no jets in the room when there's supposed to be jets that are being brought to life.
Yeah.
Come on. Optimus's head blocks Fireflight. It's really funny.
As if he has a personality worth being shown past Optimus's
Is that
head.
the same one where he's like, wow, who are you guys? And Optimus is like, who are you?
Who are you?
Oh, I'm Fireflight.
I absolutely really love that interaction, but it's also made twice as funny by the fact that he's just completely blocked. Silverbolt, you traitor! He's flying with the Decepticons at one point.
Yeah. Ironhide has a waist skirt.
I think he looks good in a kilt. And the green grass turns to metal, and all was well with the episode. So instead of it fading from metal to grass, it fades from grass to metal.
Wait, seriously? At the end?
It does.
Wow! How did I miss that? I think the version I watched, because I watched them on DVD.
Okay, mine was
DVD. I think they corrected
Hasbro Pulse.
That.
So
yeah, I think they might have corrected that error. Wow. War Dawn.
The hostages, as we mentioned.
Hostages scream twice, and then the Aerobots make the same scream when they get time travel. Go ahead.
Ariel is with the Aerobots when she is also in the warehouse. And where did they go during a little time
How did they get outside the warehouse? What's going on here?
There's a brief moment where Thundercracker speaks, and he sounds like a cowboy.
Yeah,
and they're talking about
who is that?
Man, those giant sentinels, they give me the creeps.
Yep. Oh, and also the Decepticons show up in a broken green space bridge room? What
Ancient,
the heck?
arcane.
How did they get in there? Like, what? Why did they get in there?
Why not?
Next segment. TF Wiki Go Button Trivia. So, since Hayden's answering, I guess I have to go again. Sorry.
Go for it.
Okay.
What do we got?
So, my Go Button is Leoric. He is a noble warrior from the lost world of Prismos, where an age of science gave way to one of magic. Leoric is the leader of the heroic Spectral Knights. He's got a whip and a shield, and apparently can transform into a lion. He is from the IDW portion of the Generation 1 continuity. We have a picture of him meeting Ironhide.
Yeah, so I do remember hearing about these guys. They're kind of another instance of like non-Cybertronian Transformers, except theirs are more like spirit animals.
Yeah. Similar to like the Animorphers or whatever they're called.
Kind of. Yeah. But they're original, but they were intentionally designed to be very reminiscent of He-Man style like 80s toy properties.
Yeah, and they seem to also be kind of based off of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, Arthuriana as well. Yeah. With sort of, I don't know, like it reminds me of that. You remember that Lego line, the Nexo Knights?
Yes,
That's what he reminds me of.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, there is also a little toy of him that was a SDCC, a San Diego Comic-Con gift set in 2017. And apparently he is a redeco of a G.I. Joe.
Nice.
Various G.I. Joe figures.
But yeah, they are pretty distinct in that they can go toe-to-toe with Transformers, even though they are human-sized.
Yeah. So kind of a cool little addition in the IDW lore. According to the notes, Leoric was, of course, one of the main characters in the original 1980s Visionaries franchise from Hasbro. Oh, yeah. So they are based off of the Visionaries.
Okay.
Which was another Hasbro toy line. So, yeah.
So
Scratch what you were just saying about they were made to resemble that.
Okay, I thought they were original. Huh.
No, they were brought in. It looks like
very short-lived. It seems.
Yeah. Let me see what I can find here. Spectral Knights. They're a heroic faction of magicians from the planet Prismos. They are enemies of the Darkling Lords. Okay, this is all about just the IDW continuity. Yeah, IDW got really big. Like their continuity got huge.
Yeah,
there was a lot of stuff in there. But yeah,
cool. Neil Ross was the voice of the original Leoric.
Visionaries. Knights of the Magical Light was a short-lived toy line released by Hasbro in 1987. The series was set on the alien world of Prismos, a technological utopia which has suddenly plunged into a feudal medieval state when the age of science came to an end and an age of magic began. Interesting. There's apparently like a cartoon and a comic and stuff like that that went with them. Yeah, I always recognize the name Visionaries, but I'm just not very aware of them very much. But apparently they had like holograms and stuff was one of their toy gimmicks.
Oh, cool. Like 3D hologram sort of thing?
Yeah, like lenticular hologram type stuff on them.
Yeah.
I assume. I'm not really sure. I'm not very well. I may seek out some YouTube videos on the Visionaries, see what they were about.
Find a 2.5 hour long retrospective review of the toy line.
Secret Toy Galaxy.
That's randomly super in depth.
Yeah. All right, on to our next segment. Cliffhanger questions. Last time, Sarah, our guest, asked Hayden, who is the youngest Transformer, or the last one to be born on Cybertron?
Okay.
This has multiple possible answers to it, depending on what your categorization really is. At what point in the storyline are you picking this up?
Yes. So technically, if you listen to this episode all the way through, you have your answer. The aerial bots, I believe, as of this point in the show, are the youngest Cybertronians generated through the natural means that most Cybertronians are created on Cybertron.
Being created from, given life from Vector Sigma.
Yes. Now, it depends on which continuity you're coming at it from, because every show has either one, a different method through which Transformers are born, and two, they are constantly introducing new characters who show up all the time Some of them are directly born from the Well of Allsparks. Others are just there.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's really difficult to gauge the
Yeah.
age of Transformers, unless they're specifically signified or coded as being young. I think for some
childish.
Yeah, I think for something like, I don't know, Transformers Prime, I guess you could say, like, probably Smokescreen is one of the younger ones, but he's definitely not like the youngest.
Yeah.
Out of
the
them.
characters in the show, he's the youngest
Yeah.
one, but he's not the most recently born.
Really, if you think about it, the Predacons in that show are the youngest.
That's a good point.
Except they're by artificial means.
And they're also clones.
Yes.
So
But
they're both the most ancient and the youngest.
yes.
I thought
Actually, there is.
Isn't there an episode? Isn't there a scene in Transformers Exodus or Exiles where a new Transformer is created?
Potentially. I'm not sure.
It's been a while.
It's been a very long time. But I'm thinking Transformers Prime, technically, that show ends with the birth of millions of new Transformers.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So, if we're talking like the most recent, and again, I'm talking about a show that's like over 10 years old now, but
Is it?
getting there.
Oh.
Yeah, let me see, actually.
Okay, so go through some highlighted. How about you go through? First, we'll start with. We'll just go through a couple of different shows, right?
Yeah.
Generation 1, prior to these episodes, prior to the aerial bots and Stunticons,
Yeah.
who do you think was the newest, youngest, or last born on Cybertron character?
If we're talking just code, like young coded
character.
most likely Bumblebee,
Yeah.
which I've always thought.
I feel like there was at least one continuity, like the live action movies or something, where Bumblebee was the newest.
Yeah, as a side tangent, but I've always wondered why hasn't Bumblebee been the first one to be born during the Earth era, and that's why he's named after an Earth creature.
Oh,
I'm surprised that we've never really seen that before.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we're talking prior to these episodes, I'd probably say Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Maybe Rumble.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's a good point.
That's
I'm
about
mostly thinking about Autobots, but
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. Decepticons too. Of course, there's the Dinobots, but we discussed their nebulous state.
Yeah. We don't really know. We're talking Transformers born from Cybertronian memes.
Right.
Yeah,
her question specifically said on
Conrad.
Cybertron.
Yeah, so on Cybertron, I'm blanking on the time period of when Beast Machines takes place. Is that in the past or is that in the future?
That's 300 years in the future.
300 years in the future. And technically, I think Botanica is one of the youngest.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
I think they introduce a lot of characters from that are either corrupted versions of other people or completely brand spanking new. And I don't know very much about Beast Machines.
Right.
But I think Botanica is one of them.
Yeah. She might be a character from a different planet, though, where the Transformers turned into plants.
Let me see.
I can't remember.
Well, do remember that Beast Machines introduces the concept of Cybertron and having an organic core at one point. And
that is probably the furthest forward in the American Generation 1 timeline that, if you're just watching the cartoons, that there is.
I am incorrect. She actually returned to Cybertron. She was on a similar exploration mission like the Axelon crew undertook.
Yeah.
But she landed on a planet that was dominated by mobile plants. So they all...
I really want to see Plant Wars.
Yes. So no, she was not born
Okay.
super
She was
recently.
not born yesterday.
Yes, I believe. Ooh,
What about- no, no, no.
Obsidian and Strika?
Well, they have sparks from.
Yes,
characters,
that's right.
What about Night Scream? Isn't he new?
He potentially is. He is young coded.
Yeah.
He's more edge coded.
Right.
Angst coded.
Angst.
That's
that whole show.
Beast Machines Night Scream. It's a very cool design. He makes the Namor, the Submariner, ankle wings look good. He was a Cybertronian who fled underground and then took on an organic bat form. So, yeah. I really can't wait to watch Beast Machines because there's a lot of aspects of it that I don't like the direction of, but two, it just looks so weird and I know nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be really interesting to watch.
I'm gonna guess if I had to guess from the Takara trilogy, technically the whole Super God Master Force cast of masters when they become their own Transformer people at the end of the show.
Yes.
Technically they are the newest, but they're not born on Cybertron.
That's right.
I would guess just by being young coded Pipo and Hori.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they're young coded, but they're also just small as well.
Yeah, the Micromaster rescue team. But they're not actually from Cybertron, they were built on Master. Wheelie, maybe?
Potentially.
In season 3, Wheelie could be youngest. What about in the Unicron trilogy? Sideswipe was kind of coded as the youngest of the group, but I don't know if he was the newest born.
Yeah, they didn't really get too much into Transformers' birth in the Unicron trilogy. Was there some in Energon with some of the planets?
Ironhide?
Potentially. Yeah. Maybe.
But he's just kind of a new guy.
He's
been around for a while.
You can generally be safe to say that
whoever's
the youngest and is coded to be like the kid type character is most likely the most recent one to be born.
One of the most
I would be very interested to see a fresh, newly born Cybertronian who's just a crotchety old man. From birth.
Okay. In the new show, or the recent show, Earthspark.
Yes.
That's all about new baby Transformers.
Yes.
However,
Protoform.
once again, not born on Cybertron.
Yeah. You could wait, no, that's right.
Okay. All right. So, the official answer currently, right now, who was the new guy created in the Skybound comics?
That's a oh gosh, what is his name?
What was it, like Shredhead?
Shredhead.
I think it was Shredhead.
I was like, does this guy come from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? He's amazing. He's a stinking 80s van reconstituted into a Transformer. He's a fresh Allspark. Well, technically no, because he is several sparks from
that's true.
Cliffjumper's clan, all condensed into one individual. So it's like a Beast Machine situation. We haven't seen too much of him personality-wise.
Yeah.
So we don't, or her, honestly, we haven't really had them referred to yet. But yeah. And it's a pretty young territory for the Energon universe, discussing sparks and how all of that works and stuff. They haven't really addressed it up until Shredhead. Is it Shredhead?
It's Shredhead.
Shredhead. What a guy. What a dude. Look at him. He's amazing. He's an 80s painted van, like a psychedelic van, but he has a sword and shield, and the sword is lightning. His first lines when he shows up is, my name is Shredhead. You guys ready to shred? What a guy.
So yeah, that's in just recent media that would be the most recent and most both the most recent new character introduced and the most recent new character introduced, both in and out of the fiction, I'd say.
Yeah. Apparently they had been planning Shredhead for quite a while leading up to this. Yeah. They are also exclusively referred to as they and them, which actually makes a lot of sense considering the fact that they're an amalgamation of
Many
multiple sparks. Yeah, and a whole clan, however big that is.
Right.
So, yeah, if we're talking literally the most recent Transformer born / introduced in both fiction and real world,
Yeah.
it's Shredhead.
Yeah.
If we're talking youngest, it's any young-coded... the most young-coded character is most likely the most recent, because
Right.
personality-wise, Transformers do seem to age.
Yeah.
As millennia pass, they
Yeah.
do seem to grow and mature into different personality types associated with young, middle, and old ages.
Unless you're more marketable as a youngster.
Exactly.
Which is why Bumblebee cannot make up his mind if he's going to mature or if he's going to be young again.
Or if you're Optimus Prime, where suddenly dadness is thrown upon you.
Yes. Yeah.
But, yeah, it's a very amalgamated answer, but Transformers is a very amalgamated franchise, so...
Right.
Almost
but
like
I
some
think,
sort of combiner.
as far as Generation 1 goes, we know for sure that the aerial bots are the newest ones as of this episode.
Yes.
But the we don't know when or if the Protectobots or the Season 3 characters were created. If they are new or if they've been around. Well, we know that Cup has been around for a long time, so I think it's safe to assume. And Ultra Magnus has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Optimus would consider 20 years, a career long, considering that he's been fighting this war for 9 million years. I don't think 20 years is going to be,
Yeah.
It's
not going to shave too much time off of it.
Right. I think that, and we see, flashbacks and stuff also of Ultra Magnus doesn't know when he was born. But yeah, no. I think that a lot of the Season 3 characters existed prior to
Most likely.
this. Like we see, once again, in the Skybound comics, that they can exist out in space somewhere while Earth shenanigans are happening.
They're out and about.
Yeah. Anyway, so aerial bots, youngest as of this episode. Possibly Protectobots, but they may have just gained the ability to combine later. Or
Beyond the scope of Generation 1, anything goes.
What about animated? Do you think that they're... Because Sarah said she's a fan of animated. So
I guess
do you remember? Yeah.
Technically.
But she learns... Yeah. I mean, yeah, she is a protoform.
Yep.
At the... that came from Cybertron. And then she got her Earth mode.
Yeah. I can't really think of... Jetstorm and Jetfire.
Oh yeah, they were considered newbies. Like they were like the
freshly made.
Yeah, they were the newest ones, and they were or the newest cadets or something like that. Yeah.
Is it Jetstream or Jetstorm?
Well, it's Jetstream and Jetfire, and they combined into Jetstorm, right?
Jetstorm and his twin brother Jetfire, they combined into Safeguard. They were an experiment. They weren't necessarily born. They were also twin brothers. But anyway, yeah.
I think that's enough answer for tonight.
I think so. Next segment.
Our wrap up. Oh,
Actually,
no. Hayden, you get to
Yes,
answer
our
question.
cliffhanger question.
Yes.
Where one of us asks the others a question to be answered next episode. My question for you is that Transformers is a series partially defined by gimmicks more often than not.
Yes.
Usually a show or mostly a toy line will have a gimmick, and it has to be worked into the show.
Yes.
What's a gimmick that you think would be cool to do next in a future Transformers series?
A new gimmick.
A new kind of gimmick.
Okay. You couldn't answer a easy one like, what's your favorite gimmick? And why?
True.
And how does that...
I guess that could also be part of it. Like, what is your favorite...
apply to the show? No,
Yeah.
you had to say, what's a new gimmick? I gotta go make up a gimmick.
You could also answer, like, what gimmicks do you enjoy?
Let me go be a toy designer for a minute. Yeah, honestly, that is something that like I feel is lacking in the current space of high-end Transformer toys is gimmicks.
Yeah.
Some of the other toy lines that they're doing do have gimmicks, but a lot of them just come off really cheap.
Yeah. Really,
Which
if you
is
think...
sad because, I don't know, it's just...
If you think about it, Transformers as a concept is a gimmick.
Yeah,
it's a robot that turns into a car. That's a gimmick.
Yeah, anyway. Alright.
Anyway.
I will invent a new gimmick, and then hopefully Hasbro will hire me to design Transformers and write some...
We didn't get sponsored by Tubi. We got sponsored by Hasbro.
Maybe Hasbro will hire me to write part 3 of that. The key to Vector Sigma.
Let's hope so.
Oh my goodness.
But
I actually would really love the job of going through and re-editing the Unicron trilogy into compilation films and doing a redub of them.
That'd be an endeavor.
Oh, but it would be so good.
Yeah.
Anyway.
On to our next segment. I think that is everything, so on to our wrap-up. Thank you all so much for joining us and listening to our, extensive ramblings.
Yeah, this one was a bit much.
Next time, we will be discussing Trans-Europe Express, Sean Connery, Cosmic Rust, Starscream's Brigade, I can't speak, and The Revenge of Bruticus. A couple of fun ones in here. Yeah. At the time of this recording, these Transformers episodes are available on the Hasbro Pulse YouTube channel, as well as on DVD and several other streaming services such as Tubi and Pluto. Not sponsored, haven't been sponsored yet. Hopefully someday we'll be sponsored.
By you.
By you, the fans! But anyway, thanks for listening to us, y'all.
Our podcast is currently available on YouTube and Spotify.
Yes. And we will see you all in the next one.
All right.